If you were to ask Sarah Boone how her life was going, she would have said it was amazing. Within the past year, she had just finalized her divorce from her over a decade-long partner, Brian, who she believed was holding her back. She had her own apartment with her longtime boyfriend, Jorge, where she would regularly host the light of her life, her son, Lucas, and everything was going her way. She was an overachiever through and through, and although her marriage had ended, she was looking forward to brighter days. Everyone who knew her thought the world of her, and knew that despite the hard times she had been through, she was going to make something of herself. She spent her days actively looking after Lucas, riding bikes and chasing him around the apartment complex, keeping up a happy and healthy co-parenting relationship with Brian, and all around putting her best foot forward. But all of that would change one night with a simple game of hide and seek. Welcome back to another episode of Dreading, brought to you today by Incogni. Today we are going to be covering the case of Sarah Boone and Jorge Torres Jr., and the absolute absurd lies that were attempted to be passed off as true. This video came highly requested by multiple subscribers and patrons over on Patreon, and I hope to do it justice, despite the fact that there is minimal reporting around the case. This case is still developing and has yet to go to court, so the information that I had access to is limited, so this video will not be as in-depth as my past content. But before we go any further, a word from our sponsor. Did you know that health insurance companies can actually raise your rates based on your online activity? These companies purchase health-related online search data to access your level of risk and adjust their rates, and they do it by utilizing data brokers. Every year, the number and the scope of data breaches worldwide are rising. According to the 2021 Annual Data Breach Report by the Identity Theft Resource Center, there were 68% more breaches in 2021 than the year before. And there is a significant chance your personal, private information has already been sold to a data broker without you even realizing it. These third parties sell everything from your name and email, all the way down to your social security number and address, and they are known as data brokers. These data brokers then aggregate your personal information and sell it to unknown businesses that use it for their own benefit. Fortunately, there is a way to protect your right to privacy. Unfortunately, that would mean spending years manually requesting each and every broker to delete whatever information they have on you. That is, unless you use Incogni. Incogni reaches out to data brokers on your behalf, requests your personal data removal, and deals with any objections from their side. You just have to follow 3 easy steps. First, create an account and tell them whose personal data you want them to remove. Second, grant them the right to work on your behalf. Then third, do whatever you want. Incognito will handle the rest and email you with the updates along the way. The first 100 people to use the code DREADING at the link below will get 20% off of Incogni. That's 20% off of you maintaining your right to privacy online and making sure your social security is actually secure. Again, the first 100 people to use the code DREADING at the link below will get 20% off of Incogni. And with that said, let us begin. As I stated in the introduction, Sarah Boone thought the world of herself. She wholeheartedly believed that she was a wonderful wife, mother, and support system for everyone in her life, and that she was a shining pillar in her own community. If she did go through hardships, it wasn't her fault. She worked tirelessly to make sure that everyone around her knew they were loved and cared for. However, that in no way was the case, and many people who were involved with her actively laughed at that assessment when it was indicated to them by police during this investigation. Sarah had been an overachiever in school. However, when she became a wife and mother, she began to spiral. She felt trapped and isolated, as if she was now just expected to give all of herself to her newborn son and husband, and she hated it. According to the police interview with her ex-husband, Sarah began to collapse into herself and fully rejected the life she created over the years.
And how long would you say the alcoholism has been a part of her life?
It's always been a part of her life. It seemed to have gotten worse and worse. I think more or less kind of since we had Lucas. And I think a lot of it was the fact that she kind of, I guess, maybe felt trapped or something.
Okay.
That, before that, whenever she wanted. You're outside having a drink. Oh, I want to go play pool. You go over across the street. You play pool for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not happening anymore when she got a kid.
Right.
So
how old's your son?
He is 9. The alcohol has gotten worse and worse and worse over the years. That's one of the main reasons why I divorced her. I just couldn't deal with it. I mean, it got to the point where, on weekdays, she'd go out, and I guess the George person is one of the people she had met, because I separated at one point and went over to my parents' house to live for a few months. And I guess she met him over at the pool place or something like that. But I'd come back and we were in therapy trying to work it out. And on a weeknight when he's got school the next day, I've got work the next day. She was out till 3 o'clock in the morning when the bar closes, and she'd bring people back over on the back porch. One time, some random person walked in my house and started screaming for Sarah at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning when we're trying to sleep.
While Brian would stay home with Lucas, making sure he was looked after and taken care of, Sarah would go out to bars and get wasted, trying to reclaim her glory days. She partied like a teenager, drinking in excess and blacking out constantly. She would stay out until early morning hours, often bringing back a gaggle of men and women to keep the party going in the house she shared with her family, not caring of how dangerous that could be. Brian discussed waking up multiple times to upwards of 20 strangers in the house, just hanging out and drinking to excess, all the while their son was in his room sleeping. Brian realized how dangerous the situation was for their son, how any number of men or women Sarah brought home could stumble into their child's room and harm him, and he begged Sarah to get help, but she actively rejected the idea, unable to deal with what she was doing. When Brian would tell her that her drinking had gotten out of hand, she would lash out violently, striking him multiple times and scratching his face, arms, neck, and torso, screaming that she was fine and he was the problem.
What can you tell me about her?
I don't. She's generally not. She can get a bit violent when she drinks. Not to this kind of extent. I don't know what happened exactly. But,
right. No, I'm just looking for.
That was part of it.
And you said when she drinks that she can get physically aggressive.
She can. She did it to me a lot, where she'd hit me and stuff like that. She's tiny.
What do you mean hit though? Like open hand smack you, or like try and punch you?
Yeah, she'd punch me. More arms. She many times would use her claws. I scratches on my neck at times, on my arms. Things like that where she'd dig with her claws.
Okay.
I never got that drunk, and I had restraint. I never touched her back. I think George didn't have that restraint, and at times he would hurt her back. So for all I know, all the times he got arrested, she started it. I don't know. I wasn't there, so. Mm-hmm. But I know she could get violent at times.
Okay.
But I don't know. It wasn't anything too much. Just.
Right. Yeah. You don't feel like she was a huge threat. I'm assuming, right?
No.
Yeah. Like you could handle yourself.
Yes.
Their fights would come to an end when he would lock himself in another room, or she would leave the home, going once again to a bar in the area to drink. In Sarah's mind, she didn't have a problem. She wasn't an alcoholic, and she wasn't doing anything wrong. She just liked to have a couple of drinks throughout the day, and Brian was making a big deal out of nothing. She could not mentally handle the idea that what she was doing was in fact a problem, and instead had to create a scenario where Brian was the bad guy and trying to control her. Because of her drinking and growing volatility, Brian felt uncomfortable leaving Lucas solely in her care, so when he would go to work, the boy was usually left at another relative's house. Sarah's friends and family were all well aware that she had a problem. However, none of them felt comfortable talking to Sarah about it. It wasn't just Brian who she would lash out at, but them as well, and for the most part, they just quietly stopped speaking to her. While out, Sarah began to have various affairs with a variety of different men who, like her, would be drinking in the middle of the day. It was at one of these bars that Sarah met Jorge Torres Jr. Jorge was working at Ace Hardware at the time, Like Sarah, he also had kids of his own, although he rarely ever saw them. Jorge and Sarah had one very important thing in common, and that was their drinking habits, and the relationship formed around that. Brian, for what it's worth, wanted to try and keep the marriage afloat for the sake of their son, and requested that Sarah and he go to counseling, but she would reject his offer outright. Once again, in her mind, he was the issue, not her. He should be the one getting therapy. He knew she was actively cheating on him with Jorge and other men. But it wouldn't be until a man showed up at the home, belligerently drunk and screaming to see his wife, that Brian would eventually separate from Sarah for good. Sarah at this point would realize that she had crossed a line and try to repair the relationship. She told Brian that she would stop drinking, seeing other men, and would finally go to therapy with him, which is all Brian had really asked for. However, after a few sessions, he realized it was a lost cause. According to Brian, while in therapy, Sarah would continuously misremember certain events, entirely deny that certain things she had done had happened, and would lie to the therapist about obvious things. To him, it felt like she was more concerned with looking good and keeping a certain positive self-image than fixing any of the issues, and he knew it would be better for him to just cut his losses. After the separation and subsequent divorce, Sarah became a wayward presence in her son's life.
The rotation real quick. So Monday, Tuesday, she'll have them. Wednesday, Thursday, you'll have them, and then you rotate each weekend.
Yeah, well,
Like it's every other weekend?
how it's supposed to work. Generally, it's 1 or 2 times, maybe a week. I think she had him last Tuesday was the last time he was actually over here.
And spent the night?
Yes.
Okay.
It's probably another week before that.
What's your son's name?
Lucas. Lukas.
L-U-K. And Boone?
Yeah.
You think he stayed here last Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was last Tuesday.
Was, well then, okay, so you technically have him more than she does. Is that where you're getting?
Yeah, that's why I said I was going to
So even though that's how it's supposed to be, you still have him.
Yeah, it's not a good day. George is in a bad mood, or whatever else reason. I think sometimes just she wants to stay up and drink and can't really do that if she's got to wake up and take him to school the next day.
Right.
Any number of different reasons. So
Sarah would rarely see him. Sometimes, when it was her turn to pick up Lucas from school, she would simply not show up, leaving the boy waiting for hours until the school would contact his father. Other times, she would pick him up and, according to her own landlord, she would leave him unattended, running around her apartment complex without any sort of supervision. Worse still, she would cut visits short, calling Brian after a couple of hours to pick up their son, saying she wanted to go out drinking and didn't want him around. But Sarah had found a new excuse as to why she wasn't able to be present with her son, and that was Jorge. As mentioned previously, Jorge had a good amount in common with Sarah, mostly in that they both loved to drink. However, they were both entirely toxic people. When agitated, both Jorge and Sarah would often instigate physical altercations, pushing, scratching, and attacking whoever they were with for little to no reason. And when the pair moved in together, they became the target of each other's ire. According to those who were around the couple, Sarah would usually start the arguments, accusing Jorge of everything from cheating to stealing money, and she would claw his face, neck, and arms. Where Brian had never laid a hand on his wife, and had always pushed her away and then left the situation quickly, Jorge would retaliate, kicking, punching, and hitting until the fight was over. When interviewed by the police, Sarah and Jorge's landlord would go on to state that early on in their tenure, Sarah had stated that Jorge was abusive to her, and she wanted to get his name off the lease.
You had told us that Sarah would confide in you about her and George's relationship. Can you tell us further what she would tell you?
Yes. Sarah, shortly after she moved in with George, she came to the office to talk to me. We noticed bruises and stuff on her, and she asked me if she could talk to me privately and asked how she would be able to get George off of the lease. Is there any way to do that? Which prompted, deeper conversation. She proceeded to let me know and was showing me a lot of bruises and marks. There were handprints, scratches. She even at one point had to go to the hospital. Through multiple conversations that we had, it steadily progressed. She had a very large gash at one point in her shin. She had to go to the hospital and get that taken care of. I'm not exactly sure what it was from, but I think it had to do when they got into a fight outside. And something got broke. I think it was one of their wine glasses or something. But, she came to me at one point asking, what do I do? Like, how can I get rid of him? I've never dealt with this type of situation. I just counsel her as she continued to come to me and explain to her that, she had to make a decision if she was going to stay with him or not be with him. If she, was going to try to work things out, they needed to seek out therapy, help, something. It wasn't too long after that last conversation that I found out the police had come and George was arrested. I don't remember about how long it was in between time, but there was another incident after that where they both got arrested, all for domestic. The complaints throughout their whole term, roughly about 20 to 30 noise complaints, fighting, arguing, banging on doors, loud music. It was just always something pertaining to their lifestyle. I do know that I have seen both of them intoxicated as early as 9 o'clock in the morning, and I mean staggering, falling down, intoxicated, both of them. And there was a noise complaint that I had received about some fighting one day that was going on, and Sarah was actually wandering around the property very drunk, barefoot, not properly dressed, I'll say it like that, sitting on the side of her building over by the retention pond. When I was told about that is when I approached Sarah, sat down, talked to her. I even had also separately went and talked to George and told them that once they had sobered up, I needed to have a meeting with them. The following business day, because this was a Friday, I do remember that, I went to see them Monday, roughly about 12 o'clock. They were sober. They apparently had some epiphany, that they were going to straighten themselves up and start acting right. And they did very good for, basically until now. I haven't gotten any complaints since May of the past year, But up until that point, the complaints were consistent, monthly, always.
Would you ever speak with George by himself? Like, did he ever confide in you about their relationship?
The one time where, like I was just saying, that when I talked to her, she asked me to go talk to him. But she's like, please go put the fear of God in him. Fear of God in him. I'm a very stern property manager. I don't tolerate a whole lot of crap.
Right.
And she knew that, and she seemed scared of him at the time. So I said, sure, no problem, just stay here. We'll go talk to him. I went over, sat down, talked to George. I talked to him for about 30 minutes altogether. And, George had explained to me that she was actually the aggressive one. And the reason she ended up with marks is, in my perception of what he was trying to explain is that she's very hands-on, in the face, dramatized in talking and explaining or fussing or whatever they might have been doing.
Right.
And I believe that because Jean, my assistant, doesn't even like to deal with her, would avoid her like the plague, because she was always drunk and she's very hands-on. There was one day, as a matter of fact, it was that same day that I talked to George by himself. She kept grabbing me by the arms to the point that I told her, I said, touch me one more time, we're going to have a problem. I'm either going to contact the police or whatever we need to do, but you can't keep grabbing on me. I had asked her several times to quit touching me. And because of that, she would do the same thing to Jean, and Jean didn't like it.
Right.
So, that's what he was explaining to me, is she was always the touchy one, the aggressive one, not that she was hitting him, but she would be like in his face, or she might, push him, or, little things like that. And she would block him from coming out of the room or whatnot, and he would take her and move her. You know what I mean? And just, that's the way he had explained it to me.
Right.
She has told me, even literally to Monday, I have been told by her several occasions that he has drugged her around by the hair of her head. I've been, told about by neighbors. I'm sorry I don't have it anymore, but at one point a tenant actually sent us a video clip via text of them two fighting and beating on each other out in the backyard. There was another complaint incident about a ladder being propped up to the wall that George was using to climb over the wall to try to get back into his apartment, sneaking in and out. There was another night, sorry, I forgot to tell you about this too. I got a call for one of my vacants in building 24, 4724, which is not their building. There was a tent set up on my vacant back porch. And it's apparently where George was sleeping for a couple of nights because she had him out of the house. I have another tenant here who may or may not speak to you, I'm not sure. For that reason, I don't want to give you her name just yet without talking to her, but George and her fighting that different evening had actually wandered into her home. He was so drunk and had no idea where he was, and when she came home, luckily her kids were not there because she's a single mother with 3 kids. George was actually upstairs in her house hollering and looking for Sarah, thinking he was in his apartment. So we've had some incidences with them in that aspect, but nothing has ever been so bad that, I didn't feel that we could resolve the problem. And like I said, we haven't had any issues since May of last year. No complaints, no nothing until this. So we thought, hey, they're doing great. Maybe they fixed their problems. I mean,
has she come to you since May of any issues?
No,
okay.
Not one time.
Friends and family also witnessed multiple fights between the couple, leading to them encouraging both parties to end it and leave each other. On multiple instances, Jorge would leave the apartment for the night and crash at his parents' house, but the next day, Sarah would immediately come over and pick him up, and they would act like nothing had happened. Their immediate neighbor, Elijah Walker, spoke to the police and press about how much the pair argued, and how at one point he found Sarah asleep on his back porch. She had been locked out of the house by Jorge, and in her drunken stupor, crashed on his back porch, thinking it was his. About a year into their relationship, while Sarah was still technically with Brian, Sarah went out with Jorge to a bar. After about an hour, Sarah approached another man at the bar and asked to bum a cigarette. According to Sarah, Jorge became agitated upon seeing Sarah talk to another man, and promptly left the bar. Later that night, when they were both back home, Sarah claimed that Jorge grabbed her by the hair and then dragged her up the stairs. She also stated that he kicked her in the eye. Notably, according to the police records, she wasn't able to recall how she came to be on the ground for him to grab her by the hair and begin to drag her, but did have multiple red marks around her face, coinciding with her statements. According to Jorge, Sarah had been the one who attacked him. Jorge told the police that after arriving home from the bar, they argued like Sarah had stated, but she lunged at him and began to strangle him. He had been sitting on the stairs at the time and tried to push her off of him, kicking her in the head in the process. Like Sarah, he had marks around his neck that indicated he was telling the truth about being strangled. However, neither party would sign a statement with the police, and both denied medical treatment. The police, unable to determine who had been the primary aggressor due to the injuries being on both parties, arrested them both, releasing them the next day after they both sobered up. In 2019, Boone called the cops on Torres and stated that he had once again gotten upset with her speaking to another man, and, while she slept, threw her off of the bed and began to assault her. He was immediately arrested and a no-contact order was put in place, but their relationship continued on. Oh, thank God. With her actively going to each of his court dates and not respecting her own restraining order. Eventually, Boone would weaponize a restraining order against Torres in an argument. Though they had stayed in a relationship, she had come to his court dates, and she in no way was respecting the restraining order. She called the cops on Torres one night when he, according to the police record, came into the apartment and took her credit card. Originally, she claimed he broke in and stole the card, but later she stated she had let him into the home to get it. He was later arrested and returned to jail, where he was sentenced to Alcoholics Anonymous and anger management. Even still, the couple stayed together. Torres's family hated Boone, and, according to her, believed that the relationship would kill him. They believed because she would instigate fights with him, striking him until he defended himself against her, and then call the cops, stating that he had started the fight and assaulted her for virtually no reason. They called her a, quote, white dragon, and after witnessing her start multiple fights with him, they stopped allowing her to come to their homes, and unfortunately for Jorge, his family's assessment would be proven correct. On the evening of February 23, 2020, everything had been going normally for Sarah and Jorge. According to Sarah, they spent the night drinking wine and doing a puzzle in their living room. However, while drinking, they got the idea to start playing hide and seek in the apartment. During the game, Sarah saw a small suitcase in the living room which was usually in a closet, and joked to Jorge that it would be funny if he got into it, at which point Jorge willingly got into the case. Sarah then zipped it up almost all the way, using a small paperclip because the zipper was broken. She made sure to leave a small opening, big enough for 2 fingers to reach out of the bag so that Jorge could get himself out and breathe. Jorge and Sarah laughed for a while, until Sarah got tired and decided to go lay down in her bed upstairs. Still a bit drunk, she passed out and believed that Jorge would join her when he got himself out. The next morning, she would wake up at 11 a.m. to an empty room and assume that Jorge had simply woken up before and was downstairs on his laptop. She would stay in bed for about an hour, but eventually she would get up after realizing the home was uncharacteristically quiet. It was when she went into the living room and saw the suitcase still zipped up and on the floor that she remembered putting him in it. She quickly rushed to the case and unzipped it, and was greeted with the long dead body of Jorge Torres Jr. She removed the body from the suitcase and put him on the floor to check for any signs of life. When she saw there were none, instead of doing the normal thing and calling the police, she called her ex-husband, Brian. Brian was used to Sarah calling at all hours of the night and day and talked to her a couple of days before, when she requested he send her more money because her bank account was in the negative. He had been calling her since 10 a.m. that morning, as it was her day to pick up and host their son, and he figured that she was calling either to say she wouldn't be taking him that day or she was on her way. He had no way of knowing the horrific scene she would try to entangle him in.
Location of your emergency. 4748 France Court, apartment 3.
4748, what's the street name?
France, Frantz.
And the apartment number?
3.
Is this a police or medical?
My boyfriend is dead.
Okay, send the line for the fire department. Do not hang up.
Fire rescue. That's the location, Mercy.
That's 32.
No, please don't leave.
4748 France Lane, apartment 3.
France Court.
France Court.
Yes.
Okay, is this near Mackenzie Drive?
I don't know where that is.
Okay, fine, okay.
It's Gilwood Park Apartments.
Okay, 4748 France, correct?
Correct.
All right, great. Now tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in his case and we were playing. And
Okay.
like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep and I woke up and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Right, okay, what's your apartment number?
3.
Apartment 3?
Yes, like he had like blood coming out of his mouth, and I don't know if like he had like an aneurysm or what happened.
Right, okay, all right, okay. Listen, we're getting help out there too. All right, okay. Okay,
Now?
okay, yeah, man, listen, we're on our way out there. You're at 407-716-8684. Okay, is he hanging from somewhere or what, ma'am?
No, I pulled him out of the suitcase. I tried giving him CPR.
Okay, so he was in a suitcase?
Yes, and I fell asleep.
Okay, how old is the boyfriend, ma'am? 42-year-old male. All right. Okay, we're sending help out there. Sheriff's Office way out there?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Listen to me. Okay. I just need to confirm this one. All right. I understand. I just need to confirm this. Is he awake at all? Is he conscious at all?
No, he's purple.
Is he breathing?
No.
All right. I need you to get him on the floor, flat on his back for me. Okay?
I did. I tried giving him CPR.
All right.
I tried giving him CPR.
Yeah. Okay.
But nothing happened. He's purple.
Okay. Listen to me. There's a defibrillator available. I need you to get it for me. Okay?
What is it?
You have an AED available?
No.
All right. Are you right by him now?
I'm sorry?
Are you right by him now?
Yes.
Okay. Lay him flat on his. Okay, ma'am. Listen. So is he cold and stiff?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he's not necessarily cold, but he's stiff. And he's
right.
purple.
Okay. All right, listen to me. Listen to me. I want you to lay him flat on his back for me on the floor.
I did.
Removing the pillows. Okay.
Yes, I did.
All right. Okay.
He's stiff and purple.
Right. Okay. Listen. Okay, man. That's fine. We're still going to do compressions on him. Okay. All right. Place the heel of your hand on his breastbone, right in the center of the chest, right between the nipples.
Yes.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Baby, I'm telling you. Just by looking at him, you can tell.
Okay. And
Please. Okay, he just gurgled.
okay. Okay. Listen to me. All right. I want you to place the heel of your hand. Okay, right between his chest, right between his breastbones.
Yes.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Yes,
We want to pump his chest to me hard and fast, going to this twice per second.
I'm doing it again.
Okay, no, just keep on pumping. That's all you need to do for me. Keep on pumping his chest for me. I don't need you to stop and talk or anything. I just want you to count out loud for me, okay?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is mixing.
Okay, ma'am, just keep on pumping his chest. That's all you need to do for me, okay?
Yes. Come on, please. Hurry up.
Okay, ma'am, they're driving here as fast as they can. Okay, don't stop to say hurry up. Just keep on pumping and counting.
I'm still doing it while I'm talking to you, okay?
Okay.
Still doing it.
All right, just continue pumping his chest. Count on a second count with you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Please hurry.
Okay, ma'am, they're getting there as fast as they can, okay?
He's stiff and he's purple.
Okay. Keep pumping his chest for me, ma'am.
I'm still doing it, okay? Still doing it. Just don't make me count.
Right, okay, that's fine. You do a good job. Just keep on doing it for me. That's all right. They're getting there as fast as they can, along with the sheriff's office also, okay?
Please.
Okay. Keep on pumping, ma'am. 1,
We were playing hide
2,
and seek.
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep on pumping for me, ma'am.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Believe me, I'm doing it, okay? We were playing
Okay.
hide and seek.
Okay. All right, I understand. All right, just keep on pumping for me, okay? Okay.
Please hurry. This
Right,
is
okay.
horrible. This is horrific. What happened? Like, what happened?
Okay, ma'am, just keep on pumping his chest for me, okay? They're in the parking lot. They should be up there shortly, okay?
Yes. I'm still doing it, okay?
Right, okay, good. And you found him in a suitcase, you said?
Yes. We were playing hide and seek last night. I fell asleep. I think they're here.
All right, just keep on pumping his chest until they take over, okay?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
Open. Come in. Can I stop pumping now?
Let them take over for you, okay?
When was the last time anybody saw him? Last night. Okay. We were playing hide and seek. He hit a nerve. It's okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's been down too long. There's nothing we can do for him.
Hello, ma'am.
And so we're there, obviously.
All right.
Yeah, no, my boyfriend. Is your boyfriend? Okay.
Does he have any kind of medical?
No. No, not that I know of.
Hello?
Hey, ma'am, the fire department's going to take care of you now, okay? Yeah, so we'll see you there.
Alrighty. Hello, ma'am, is still there? Hello?
The following is the police body cam footage taken February 24th, 2020.
Who pronounced?
She did. Oh, right there.
Yes. Did you call it? What time did you call it?
I get a time.
Hello there.
Hi.
You live here?
Yes.
Okay, I'll talk to you. We gotta get some information
I
from the
know.
fire
That's
department.
the property manager. I don't know if I should go tell him really quick or
We'll
just so he
take
knows
care of
what's going
that.
on.
Where is he at?
He wants that way.
Oh, don't worry about that. We'll take care of that for you, okay?
I had a cigarette lit.
I'll get it for you, okay? Wait 1 second, okay?
I really need something to drink.
Okay,
I got my Dr. Pepper on the counter.
okay, we'll take care of you. Give me 1 second.
Sarah just found and performed CPR on her dead boyfriend, a man that she stated that she loved. His death, according to her story so far, was a tragic accident that occurred because she drank too much the night before. However, she is incredibly calm and put together. She is concerned about telling her property manager what happened. She is thirsty and wants a cigarette. She tells the police officer, a person who was there to talk to her, about how she accidentally killed her boyfriend, and she is more concerned that her Dr. Pepper is on the counter. This behavior is incredibly unnatural. Usually, in times of high stress and mental anguish, you would see someone either entirely detach emotionally, to which they would come across completely stoic, or you would see them be visibly distressed. But Sarah is neither. She is calm, collected, and a bit annoyed that the police won't let her go in and get her drink from inside.
It's Armand too.
I gotta watch the
Put the time that you called it.
Yeah, put that right there.
You got the time you called it? Okay, perfect. You can't go back inside. What's going on? Who is he to you? Boyfriend?
Yes, for like 3.5 years.
What happened?
We drank last night.
Imagine if a person you loved and dated for 3 years died suddenly. This is a person you would have obviously entwined your life with and saw a future with. And one day they die, completely out of the blue in a tragic accident. Now imagine it's your fault. The deluge of emotion you would be feeling would be immense and completely overwhelming. But when recounting how long they had been together and how he died, Sarah is annoyed. She adopts what I can only describe as a snotty tone of voice towards the officer, as if it's stupid that she has to explain herself. Again, this is completely unnatural and not the way one would behave given the circumstances.
What's going on?
So
I just got here, so fill me in.
No problem. Like, he and I were putting a puzzle together. We've been doing some artwork together.
You are putting a puzzle together?
Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there.
Okay.
We've been doing art, trying to take stuff off the wall to make new art put up there, like having a good time with one another. But we're drinking. We had a bottle of wine last night.
Okay.
So then it's like, we decided to play hide and seek, right?
Okay.
So he gets in the suitcase, okay?
Who is this guy?
That's my ex-husband, my former husband.
How did he live here with you guys?
No, I called him over here.
Okay, okay,
I didn't know what to do.
okay,
I didn't know what to do.
okay.
So then he came over here.
Here, let's talk in private, okay?
I called you guys.
Mhm.
I tried giving him CPR. The problem is I fell asleep. I fell asleep
When did you do CPR?
this morning when I found him.
Before you called?
Yes.
1 o'clock right now.
I tried. I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30ish, whatever. So I came downstairs and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still. And that's when I found him and I took him out and I tried doing CPR and then I called him and then I called you guys.
Did he get here before the fire department got here?
Who?
Your husband?
She is able to quickly express and drop emotion. As she talks about her morning, her voice gets shaky and high-pitched, which would lead most to believe that she is being overcome with emotion and guilt. But she drops it the moment the police officer asks if Brian arrived before the fire department. Let me play it one more time to showcase how quick the change is.
Oh, he's in the suitcase still. And that's when I found him and I took him out and I tried doing CPR and then I called him and then I called you guys.
Did he get here before the fire department got here?
Who?
Your husband?
This is ridiculously unnatural and would no doubt stick out as a false display of emotion to the police officer.
Are your ex-husband?
Yes.
Okay. Where does he live at?
Right down the street.
Okay. So you were playing and who dipped him up in?
I did, but then I fell asleep.
Okay. You're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what
I
happened.
fell asleep, so I don't know if he suffocated or like had an aneurysm or a heart attack or
What kind of medical conditions does he have?
None that I know of.
Nothing that you know of.
None
You
that I
didn't take
know
any
of.
medicine
No.
last night?
No.
No medicine.
All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally, just a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Doing puzzle artwork. Then we decided to play hide and seek. That's all that happened.
Okay.
So I don't know if he had a heart attack or what in there. Like, I don't know what happened.
So how long were you doing CPR on him prior to you calling 911? You tried that all morning?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I called him while I was
What
doing
time
CPR.
did you start? Probably give me a rough ballpark. Here, let me fill this deputy in, okay?
Please, may I have my Dr. Pepper? I am so cotton mouth right now.
Again, she is more concerned with getting back to her Dr. Pepper, a drink that she began drinking before she decided to remove Jorge from the suitcase he died in, than what is currently going on.
Ma'am, and you can't talk to him until we get done with this, okay?
Just don't leave, okay, Brian?
Thank you, ma'am.
Well,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm getting Lucas.
I know.
Do me a favor. Stand over there by that car. Give me 1 second.
2.2 Charlie.
Just give us a second, okay?
Somebody else on that call to break and
It's on the counter.
I can't move anything from out of the house.
For 20 Bravo, but
Like, I'm
Here, I want you to sit down because I don't want you passing out. This is probably a lot for you to deal with, right? Sit. I don't.
Just water.
I can get you some water, okay? Just I want you not on your feet because I don't want you passing out on me.
Generator call.
I need water.
Okay, I'll get some for you.
You're trying to Charlie, but you're on it.
So you've had a second to kind of collect yourself. Tell it to me again. You guys were playing last night, drinking a bottle of wine,
Putting puzzles together, doing
doing
artwork.
puzzles, artwork. Okay.
Had a bottle of wine, and then decided to play hide and seek.
Mhm.
So he
What
gets,
time was that? Do you remember?
I mean, I know that I was in bed probably by like what, 12:30.
Okay.
Well, I went upstairs at least, and I fell asleep,
Okay.
forgetting that he was
So
in
you
the
guys
suitcase.
were playing the hide and go seek.
Yes.
And at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep.
Mhm.
I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right
He
where
got
it
in
is.
it. Right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought he was be funny, a little
It
joke.
was. We both were laughing about it.
Okay.
And then I fell asleep
Where did you fall asleep at?
upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
Okay. And then you came back downstairs?
This morning, or this afternoon, yes, when I got
ballpark,
up.
what time?
12:30-ish. I was awake, but I totally forgot that he was in the suitcase. He can tell you there's a lot of things that we have been going through. Jobs,
Yeah, he did tell me. Some
life,
domestic
all that
stuff.
good stuff. So I just totally
So you
forgot.
began to do CPR on him?
Yes. Yes.
About
And he
what time
gurgled,
this morning
like he
did you
gurgled.
start doing that CPR?
No, it was the afternoon. It was afternoon
The
because
afternoon?
I was awake, but then I finally decided to come downstairs at like 12:30-ish, whatever it is, and I was like, I forgot he was in the suitcase, and he wasn't moving. Nothing was happening, so I unzipped it, took him out, and started doing CPR on him.
Mhm.
He was on his way over here. I called you when he got here.
Once he got here, you called us?
Yes.
Okay.
And air was coming out, and he was gurgling, but
Mhm.
I could just tell by looking at him.
But you knew how to do CPR? You were doing that on your own?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
All
the
right.
person that was on the phone with me also, I counted with him doing.
And he's got no medical? He doesn't take any medication?
I don't know. I don't know medical wise. I know he doesn't take any medications whatsoever.
Okay.
The only thing, like I said, I don't know if alcohol had something to do with it, but we had a bottle of wine.
Okay. All right. Here's, I want you to sit back down because I don't want
Can I
you.
have one more sip of water, please?
Yeah, go.
Denver, Signal 29, residential, audible, 1303 Island Bay Drive.
I'll do what I can to get you a cup because I don't want you to have to keep doing that.
Maintenance didn't have a proper purpose cancel. The indication is the front door. Turn to that first honey. The motor unit on the channel.
The cups are like right there.
044 motor
Sit right here. Don't talk to the ex-husband right
Oh,
now.
I won't.
Okay?
I won't. Can I have a cigarette, please?
Ma'am, I can't take anything out of the house.
It's on the back porch.
Nope, all of it. It's secure, okay? I'll try my best to get you what you need, okay? Maybe one of these deputies has a pack from someone, you know, sit down and I'll try and get you what you need, okay?
Just a cup, please.
Okay. I don't want you on your feet. Hey, Sarah. You get enough water? No, if you want to stay seated, I don't want you getting lightheaded. So remember I said the detectives were going to come out and talk to you and go from there. You know what I'm saying? They're here. They're going to ask you a few questions and then go from there, okay? All right.
All right, Sarah. My name's Chelsea. My partner, Scott. To my understanding, you reside here?
Yes.
Okay. Is it just you,
And George.
Okay.
And I have a 9-year-old. It's 50-50 with Brian, my former husband.
Your former husband. Okay. But you reside here with George, and then your son lives with you, or it's 50-50?
Yeah.
Okay. So from what
Rodriguez
has told me, she explained last night that you guys were drinking a bottle of wine, and around midnight, you decided you guys.
12:30ish, yeah.
Okay. You guys decided to play hide and seek.
Well, we were playing hide and seek, and then
Was your son home at the time, or okay?
no, he was mine
Ex.
with Brian.
Okay.
Decided to play. We're just stupid like that. Like, sure, we were putting puzzles together. We were doing artwork. You can see the puzzle that we finished in there, and then the artwork, and then decided to play hide and seek, just being stupid.
Okay.
So he decided to get in the suitcase. So I thought it would be funny to, and he was laughing about it too, to dip him up in there. I go upstairs and fell asleep. So this morning this afternoon when I actually got up out of the bed, I thought for sure he was downstairs on the laptop because he was being really quiet. But then I came downstairs and I'm like, where is he? Like, and then that's when I found him.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Jesus Christ. What happened to Jorge was incredibly obvious to those who were on the scene. Jorge had clearly suffocated in the suitcase he was trapped in. However, Sarah continuously tries to distance herself and the investigation away from the fact by stating, "I don't know what happened. I don't know if he had a heart attack or an aneurysm." She seemed entirely unable to process or consider the fact that this event was caused by her, and instead tries desperately to remove herself from potential responsibility. Sure, he died in the suitcase, but it was probably another medical event that just so happened to coincide with him being locked in a small piece of luggage.
Okay. And then you weren't sure about if you woke up this morning
It was afternoon. I mean, I was
or
awake,
this afternoon.
but I just didn't want to come downstairs. So
Okay.
I just laid in the bed for a little while. And then I eventually came downstairs and was confused about where he was. And then I was like, oh my God, he's in the suitcase still. So I pulled him out and I stretched him out and I started to try to do CPR on him. I called you guys. Well, I called Brian.
Okay.
And then as soon as he got here, which is 30 seconds down the road, I called you guys.
Okay.
And the person on the phone had me do the concussions continually still and count with him until you guys showed up.
Okay. And so as a part of our investigation, we obviously have to go inside the house. We have to look at things. Are you okay with us
Yes.
going in the house and looking at things?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And forensics, so we have to have our forensics crime scene investigators come out. Are you also okay with them coming inside,
Do
taking
whatever you need to
photographs
do.
and
Whatever
okay.
you need to do.
Okay.
Can I ask, is Brian, I'm sorry, George, was he diagnosed with any kind of medical history?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't take drugs. I mean, we'll have the occasional bottle of wine here and there, but I don't know. Like,
That was going to be my next question. So you guys don't normally drink? You just drink once in a while, or?
well, I'm gonna say like, okay, I guess normal drinking is like we will have like a glass of wine or two, like while we're cooking dinner. Sure. Coming here and we'll play a board game with them and little games in there. But I mean, it's not like
A couple of beers a day?
well, but I don't understand though. Like for the little bit that we had, like not had anything to do with it. Like I don't know if he had a heart attack or a stroke or an aneurysm or what happened to him. I don't know.
And were you guys together all day yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. Here?
Yes.
Like neither of you left the apartment yesterday?
I think he drove up to the convenience store to get cigarettes.
Okay.
But I mean, you could walk there.
Does he have any history of using any drugs? I know he doesn't now because you said he doesn't, but
I don't know.
as far as you've ever known him, you've never seen him.
No. I mean, he's from Philadelphia, and he grew up in Philadelphia, and then he went to Massachusetts, and then from Massachusetts he came down here. So I don't really know like a whole lot of like medical history or.
How long have you guys been together?
Almost 4 years, like 3.5 years.
You guys been living here the whole time?
Yes.
Okay. He's never been to the doctor or to the hospital during that time?
He and his brother got into a really bad argument at one point, and he had to have facial reconstruction. But he has been in the hospital from that, and then I talked him into going to see like a regular physician so he could get just like a regular like checkup thing.
Yeah.
But there were no red flags.
How long ago was that?
The surgery or the doctor?
Both.
The surgery I think was at this point what 2 years maybe, 2.5 years. The checkup was probably a good 2 years too.
Okay.
And the suitcase is still in there?
Yep, always.
Is it normally stored down there? Did you guys travel recently?
No, he was going to start putting some of the, what do you call it, donations in there. So that's why,
That's why it's out?
Yes.
Okay. You guys didn't recently travel somewhere or anything like that?
After you zipped them up, did you move the bag around and mess with them at all, or you just zipped it up and walked away
and I both were laughing about it, but I went upstairs and I fell asleep.
Okay. But what position was he in when he went in? Was he sitting on his rear end and his head up and he just kind of bent over?
Okay, so like this is the suitcase. Like this was his head and then his knees right here and his feet were down.
So he was laying on his side?
Yes. Yes.
You just closed the flap and zipped it around?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe we were playing.
Understandably, okay.
So he said that I needed to tell you guys about his family. Like, who do I talk to about that?
We're gonna do that once we walk through and see. Yeah, we're
not
gonna.
going anywhere. We're gonna
I'm
be here
just
for a
telling you,
while.
like,
this is gonna be a
I'm
while.
afraid for my life.
After causing the death of her boyfriend, Sarah immediately attempts to take the victim role in regards to the police by claiming she is now afraid for her life.
You know that. I am afraid for my life. His family has never liked me. I'm the blue-eyed white devil, is what they call me. So they've never liked me. They've never taken me in. They've never accepted me. I'll put it that way.
Have you called any of them?
We talked to his daughters yesterday.
No, I mean like about this. Does
No.
anyone know? Okay.
That's
So
why
no one's gonna know until we will be making that notification. So
they're going to
it's
kill me.
okay.
Do
Well,
they live local?
Yes, they're down the road. They're going to kill me. His kids are going to kill me in Philadelphia. They're going to kill me. This was not intentional.
okay.
And they're not going to understand that. They're not going to accept it.
We're gonna do a thorough investigation, and we will definitely make sure that you don't feel scared when we leave here. Okay.
Immediately, the officers would no doubt know there is something wrong with this statement. Sarah saying that Jorge's family doesn't like her because she is white, and they have never accepted her because of that fact, is not reason enough to believe that they would be physically violent towards her or harm her in any way. Just because the family of your partner doesn't like you doesn't mean you are in danger of being harmed by them. Sarah's continued statements that Jorge's family is incapable of understanding that what happened here isn't her fault, and that they are dangerous people who will kill her because she is white, would no doubt make them more suspicious of her.
And
When
my
we leave.
9-year-old.
Well, he's at school, or he's with your husband.
I know. Well,
Ex-husband.
Your husband said that, or your ex-husband said he made arrangements for your 9-year-old to be picked up.
Oh, okay, Mom. Probably. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're going to go inside if that's okay.
Yes, please, but can you guys just keep me posted
Of course.
so I know what's going on?
Yes, ma'am.
And don't.
All you have to do is get their attention if you have a question or you need to talk to us. He's standing right there. She'll be right here.
Yeah. Okay, but will you guys tell me, like, so you're telling me, like, you won't call whoever it is without telling me, right?
No.
I mean, I have all their phone
And we're
numbers
not
if you need
calling.
them.
We're not making phone calls. We're actually going to speak to them in person.
Yeah.
We
That'll be
are.
later
They're
on.
going to. Okay.
It'll
You'll
be
know
later.
prior to us making any
I'm
contact.
not going to be here.
Okay.
They're going to kill me.
Okay.
We'll address all of that,
Yes.
okay, before we leave. Okay?
This was.
Okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
If you're getting the sense that the police don't believe her and think she's being overdramatic, you would be right. Her continued insistence that his family was going to kill her and that they shouldn't tell them about his death without running it by her first is more than unusual. It was suspicious, given the fact that most people over the age of 20 don't randomly decide to play hide and seek while drunk. The detectives already believed that Sarah had played a more deliberate role in Jorge's death.
She wants to say something. She wants to talk. I'm on.
Well, we're
Don't
here,
know
so
anything though, like why or how?
So we will not know the answer to that because we're not doctors. So what's going to happen is he's going to go to the medical examiner's office and he'll have what's called an autopsy.
Yeah.
That'll be first thing tomorrow morning. I'll know a lot, hopefully a lot more tomorrow morning as far as him. But I cannot. There's no way I could say how, why.
So just by looking at him, like, why is he purple?
Out of all the things to ask, she asks why he was purple. Because he's dead, Sarah. That's why. What else could that possibly mean?
Oh, that's normal when someone passes away. Lividity turns.
as soon as the heart stops beating, the blood starts to settle to the lowest points of the body, and then it becomes very pronounced. So that's just called a public bleed. It happens every day.
I'm like really scared. I want you guys to know that.
You
Like,
have all these deputies here, so while we're here, nothing's going to happen to you. Before we go and make any notifications, you'll have plenty of time to leave or do what you need to do. Whatever you need to do, okay? And we can talk about that more in length, but yeah, it's not going to be a surprise.
Real quick, and then.
But like, I don't like. This was totally like not intentional. Like, that's what I'm scared about too. Like, hey,
We'll have all the answers. We'll have a lot more answers tomorrow after medical examiner looks at it. Like she said, what you're seeing here is common. This is us coming out to a
Protocol.
scene. Yeah, his age, no real medical history that
I
we
know of.
For him to have passed away, we come out.
I know.
Yeah. We come out and do an investigation. Medical examiner's office, we sending people out. This is what we do. If he was 75 years old and had a history of heart condition, we wouldn't be here.
I just don't know what I don't know what it is.
Exactly, and that's what we're here to find out. We're just here to get the answers. The answers that you want, the answers that his family's
I
going to
just
want.
really want to see my son. Like, I really need to see my son.
Well,
I mean, I know I can't go anywhere, but
Right.
so do I just like sit out here and wait for you guys?
if you would, yes, please.
Is anybody else having to show up, or everybody's here that needs to be here?
My team's here
Yeah.
that needs to be here. The medical examiners will show up when we call them, but we're not ready for them yet. So they're going to take him, they're going to take some photos, take him, but that's towards the end of it. And they'll be called well in advance when we're ready for them, but we're not ready for them at this point. So we won't be calling them quite yet. Okay? So like I said, I got to go do some paperwork. They're going to chat with some people, and then we're going to come back and talk to you if you're okay with that.
Yes, please.
So just give us a little bit more time. Like I said, I need to go and do that, and he's going to go do what he needs to do.
But do you guys tell his family like today or after
Yes,
tomorrow?
We have to.
It's the law.
We have to go and make contact with the family.
Yeah.
They have to be notified.
Once our investigation is pretty much complete here, once we leave here, we will be going to.
But again, you'll know. We're not going to just go and do it without you knowing. You'll know. We'll talk to you prior to doing anything like that.
But how? I mean, I understand what you guys and how you do it, and you know. So, but like, what do you just tell him? What do you tell his parents? Like, what's the reason he passed away?
We tell them what we know at that point.
Yeah.
We tell them the truth.
And that we're going to be waiting for the autopsy results, and I will be at the autopsy in the morning, and hopefully the doctor will be able to give me some of what they think and see.
We'll give them their number. They can contact them and get it from them.
But yeah, they're gonna know what we're here, what we're investigating, and that
They're gonna think I killed him.
Why would they think that?
They always have said that. They've always have said that.
Knowing the past history between Jorge and Sarah, it makes sense for his family to believe that Sarah would eventually lead to his death. Their relationship was volatile, and they were both abusive towards each other. But in one instance, Jorge's own brother fought him after Sarah told him that he beat her up. So they were not entirely callous and uncaring towards her. They had witnessed the pair argue and attack each other, and they had recently seen Sarah weaponize the restraining order she had against Jorge in a manner that they believed to be malicious. Sarah attempting to rewrite the narrative as them being demonstrably unfair and aggressive people who hate her for her skin color is a blatant attempt at manipulation, one that you would think she would understand wouldn't work, given that the police have access to her and Jorge's past records. But even still, Sarah attempts to tell them that any negative feelings they might have had towards her are unfair and that she is in danger. After speaking with Sarah and going over her version of events, the investigators hit a couple of sizable roadblocks. A number of things Sarah had stated didn't make sense. If Jorge and her were playing hide and seek, why would he have had her zip him up in the suitcase, seeing as it would defeat the purpose of the game? If she had only 2 glasses of wine that night, how would she have passed out and forgotten where Jorge was in a matter of seconds? Why had she called her ex-husband before calling the police? As more questions piled up, they continued to collect more evidence, starting with Boone's phone, which she shared with Torres. Multiple different outlets stated that she willingly gave up the phone when it was asked of her, but it was part of a search warrant, meaning she had little choice. And it was on that phone that they found one of the most disturbing pieces of evidence in any case I have covered. The following is the last known footage of Jorge Torres Jr. and was taken by Sarah Boone. Though the footage itself isn't graphic, it is distressing, as it shows the haunting final moments of a man's life. If you do not wish to see the footage, please skip this part, as it can be distressing to some. Your mental health is important, and the only person who can protect it is you. Please be mindful before we continue. I will give you a couple seconds to skip.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Sarah. I can't fucking breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Sarah. 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 Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
It's on you.
Sarah.
Real or ransom. I want to give it for it extra. Because I got this.
Sarah.
Real or ransom.
Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
Oh. That's what I feel like when you ching on me.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Fucking breathe, Sarah.
Yeah. You should probably shut the fuck up.
Sarah.
Shh.
In Sarah's original statement, she talked about how Jorge and her joked while he was in the suitcase, how they laughed at the absurd situation, and how it had been nothing but fun to them both. But this was clearly not the case. Sarah had locked her boyfriend up in a small container and taunted him, telling him to shut the fuck up when he said he couldn't breathe, and even appeared to knock the luggage over. Whatever had occurred that night, it hadn't been the unfortunate accident that Sarah had claimed. With this piece of evidence, as well as statements from her ex-husband, landlord, and the Torres family, the police brought in Sarah the next day for further questioning.
Just let us know if at any time you need more, okay? I'm gonna have you sit in the green chair that doesn't move. Appreciate you coming in.
Yes, ma'am. And I want to ask you about these whenever we have a moment.
Sure.
At the beginning of the interview, Sarah has absolutely no idea they have found the videos that were on her phone, or that they have any evidence against her. The two investigators will continue to have a cordial tone with her, to appease her ego and keep her guard down. That way they can gather as much information as possible from her. It's pertinent that they keep Sarah at ease and comfortable for as long as possible, as everything she is saying, and each new lie she tells, can be used against her later on.
So obviously, he received his autopsy. So I'm going to read you your rights again because we have to talk about that. And since I'm talking about the incident, we just have to do it, just like we did yesterday.
Protocol?
Just like we did yesterday. Remember I read you the rights? Your rights? Yeah. So it's the exact same thing, but since I'm asking you follow-up questions, I need to read them to you, okay?
Sure.
All right. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before and during questioning without charge. If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one can be provided for you before questioning without charge. Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to talk to me?
No.
And do you understand what I just read you?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So this morning we went to his autopsy, and we were informed of some injuries that he has by the doctor. So so he's got scratch marks to his back.
I know what that's from.
Okay. And it's called a contusion. Do you know what a contusion is? So like basically you're getting hit and then you get a mark from it. You'll get bruising. Like someone hit you or something like that. It's called a contusion. So he had some injuries to his left shoulder. He had a cut near his lip. We could see his mouth was a little
I haven't laid a
swollen.
hand on him.
Okay.
Also too, he fell off my son's bike.
Okay.
So I don't know, and he's notorious for running into the wall or the hall tree. So
Okay. What about the scratches? Because there's also sex.
Yes.
Okay. Because there's also like a scratch on the back of his neck, kind of going, but it's going straight across.
I have no idea what that's from.
And they're all recent. They occurred recently. It wasn't something that occurred post or that occurred a week ago or 2 days ago, 3 days ago. They definitely occurred, the night leading up to when he was.
In all honesty,
I've already explained on this channel that when somebody makes it a point to punctuate a sentence with the phrase, in all honesty, truly, or honestly, that indicates deception. They are trying to point to their honesty when they're being dishonest. Although that is not always the case, in these high-stress situations, it tends to be a red flag. Sarah is put on the spot, and in order to try and explain away the injuries that Jorge had on his body, she says he is infamous for running into walls, and that he recently fell off of her child's bike. Both of these things are completely far-fetched, and her over-exaggerated body movements punctuate her lies. By this time, they had already spoken to Brian, her ex-husband, multiple times over, and he had indicated that when Sarah would attack him, she would come at him with her fingernails. He told police he was left with scratches on his face, neck, arms, and torso, and they are more than aware that the scratches left on his back were not from sex. Again, the police will not push her on how ridiculous these assertions are, especially the one about him running into the wall so hard he dislocated his shoulder and simply didn't notice, because they are fact-finding. Pay attention to her overexpression when attempting to look confused or concerned. She has a tendency to bulge out her eyes to look bewildered, but fails each time.
All honesty, we have not gotten into it.
Okay.
That's why, The only thing I thought you guys were going to ask me about, which I was going to be honest with you anyway, are the scratch marks on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, I have no idea what it is. No idea what it is. Nonetheless, I've had my son over the house too, so.
Well, your son was there when? When was he last there?
Oh, gosh.
From my understanding, he was there like last Tuesday?
I don't know if it was Tuesday, but yes, he was there last week, so.
Well, we're talking about Sunday.
Yeah.
We're just talking about what occurred Sunday. Because like I said, the injuries they occurred within that time period.
So you're talking about day before yesterday?
Sunday leading into Monday. You called us yesterday at 1, but the incident, you guys were painting and stuff the night prior.
Correct.
So we're talking about Sunday and then into Monday.
I'm thoroughly confused because we had a good time sitting on the back porch having wine and smoking a couple of cigarettes and then decided to go inside and literally paint, do puzzles, and play and listen to music. That's why nobody got out of sorts. This is what's mind-blowing to me. Like, I have no clue. Nobody laid a hand on anybody.
He also had, like on the left side of his forehead, he had basically bruising, and on like his head and his skull.
I have no idea.
As if something hit him.
I
considered
have not
force
touched him.
trauma.
I have not touched him. I have not touched him.
Then how would you get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know. I have not touched him.
Yesterday, when we took photographs of your overall body, and they did the buccal swabs, did they go under your fingernails?
No.
Okay. Are you willing to let us
Absolutely.
swab underneath your fingernails?
Go for it.
Okay.
I have no idea, and I don't want to seem out of sorts, but I have no idea. We had a good day. It was a good day. We've had good days lately, even considering everything that's going on with our jobs and life in general and ex-wives and everything. It's been good. Like, I don't even know where this is coming from.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
said
even
the
know.
last physical was probably, you said, I think, what, a month ago? Where you got the injury, right? You said that was a
I'll
month
say
ago?
a few weeks, give or take, yeah.
A few weeks. That was the last, like, physical altercation between the two of you? Yeah, you said a month ago he hit you with a curtain rod.
Yeah, with a curtain rod. That's why I can't believe you guys didn't take that either.
Wow.
Like, we've been good. I don't know if, like, it's since the last time he got out of jail. Like, we've been good, and he's been having his classes and seeing his probation officer, who's amazing. So.
What do you mean by good? What's your definition of good?
The probation officer?
No, you said you guys have been good. What's your definition?
I've been good.
Throughout the beginning of the interview, Sarah has subconsciously used we when talking about the relationship. Her constantly stating, "We've been good," is her admitting unconsciously that both her and Jorge need to work on themselves in the relationship, and he was not the sole aggressor. But hearing it back from the male detective, she realizes her mistake, and instead pins the blame solely on the man she killed.
I don't think you all understand. He comes at me all the time. He comes at me. So it's either I flee or try to go upstairs and go to sleep. That's usually what it is. And I don't know if you talked to Brian about any of that, but most of the time when I flee, I go over there. So.
Right, but you're saying that you guys have been good, and when I asked you yesterday, the last incident that you could remember was the curtain rod incident, which you said was a month ago, so.
Give or take.
Right. So what do you mean by he comes after you? Like,
he gets belligerently drunk. Like, I don't know if you all have looked through my phone yet and seen any of the pictures and the videos that I have taken. And at one point, I started documenting everything.
Okay.
So you all will see in my pictures bloody fingers, split foreheads. He split my nose. I've got this.
Right.
I don't know if Brian told you about it, where I had to have I had one really bad surgery, but then it got really, 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 really bad, where I had to go like 4 or 5 more times afterwards for them to tend to it, from him poking me in the back of the leg.
Right.
So it's.
Then why are you still with him?
Everybody asks me that. When I tell you guys this, I really love him, like I do, and I feel like I can help him. Like, I feel like I could help him, which I did, because he came a really long way from where he was in Philadelphia to moving back to here and to dealing with everything else that he's been dealing with. I've really helped him. I've bailed him out of jail, 3 times. I've gone to every single hearing and every single arraignment, everything that I did for him.
I paused here to take note of what she'd said. Her talking about being truly in love with him, going to every single court date for him, and helping him is well and good. However, while she is staying with him and going to these court dates, she has a no contact order on him, meaning that despite her willingness to see him, he would be breaking the law. According to his family, she weaponized this against him and would ask him to come see her, and when he would do something she didn't like, she would call the cops to get him arrested. While battered and abused partners do have an extremely difficult time leaving their abuser, in this instance, both Jorge and Sarah were mutually abusive to each other.
Gone to see all his public defenders, go to the state. I've gone to the state. I did everything for him because I'm trying to help him, because I had hope in him. And he was trying. He was really trying. And then he starts to think about things, and I think he gets overwhelmed, and then it's like, the next thing I know, he's drinking. So it's like, oh man, I know where this is going to go, so I'm going to go upstairs and read a book, or I'm going to go for a bike ride, or I'm going to do something else, where I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink. The occasional wine, whatever, or if it's a weekend, that's when you have a good time. You don't have to wake up the next day. I have to wake up the next day and do things. I have to tend to Lucas. I have to take him to school. I have all this stuff to do. He doesn't know how to, I guess, maintain himself, where I can do 50 things at once and still know the 50 things more prior that I need to get done. He can't process like that. He didn't process like that. So he would literally, not literally, but have smoke coming out of his ears. So the next thing you know, he doesn't want to deal with it. I'm going to go get something to drink. So the majority of the time, I would hang out outside or do something else because I don't want to drink. And every time, his job broke his heart. And it made me sad because he had so much pride in his job. And the store that he took care of so much totally went downhill. And that broke his heart because he had put so much work and effort into fixing it up. And his manager was awful and basically gave up on all of the employees. So I think that had a huge bearing on why he would drink so much. His ex-wife is bonkers. She was all over him all the time. Send me money, send me money, send me money. How can I send you money when I don't have a job? And he's still trying to take care of me and Lucas by paying a bill here or there, getting some groceries. So he always had something on his mind, which is why, again, I got the puzzles and the paint to try to get him off of it so we don't have a drink, or he doesn't have a drink. So when you all see my phone, you can see all of the damage he has done to me and the videos of him smashing my television because he's belligerently drunk. Where most of the time, I just don't want to be there. And I try to help him. I try to calm him down. Eventually, he just passes out.
Well, yesterday it made it sound like you guys were just drinking like a glass or two. Like, yeah, you obviously had the bottle, but you told me on recording like that you were not drunk, he was not drunk, you guys were having a good time.
I can't get drunk. Number one, I do not want to get drunk.
Sarah says 3 completely contradictory things in a matter of seconds here. She states she doesn't get drunk, then stops herself, because she knows they probably have talked to Brian, who would have no doubt told them about her constant drinking and how she often came home completely wasted. Then she states she can't get drunk, and then goes on to say that she never wants to get drunk. These are all completely untrue, and her own records contradict this. Simply being in such a high-pressure environment in this police interrogation has left her scrambling, like the good and dutiful partner, mother, and wife. But she seems completely unaware that that perception is at odds with reality. She keeps bringing up evidence on the phone, and how there is proof of what happened on the phone. Many have speculated she simply didn't remember taking the videos of Jorge's final moments, while others have stated she simply deleted the videos and thought the police wouldn't be able to get a hold of them. Either way, she is entirely unaware of the damning evidence they have, showing her malice and intent to kill her partner.
I don't like being non-compos mentis, having my wits about myself. I don't like feeling out of control.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm just saying, you're making it sound like he's a raging alcoholic today, and yesterday I was kind of asking you those questions, and you're like a little defensive, like, no, we're not alcoholics.
I'm not.
We are not, you know. But you guys were both sober on Sunday, to your knowledge, because when I said you went and passed out, you were like, no, I didn't pass out, I just fell asleep. So now it's kind of like, what is it? Were you guys drinking and it got out of hand and it got physical?
No.
Or is it...
Sunday was one of the better days that we have had in quite some time. He's dancing with my dog. You can see that too on the pictures, him loving the dog. He loves the dog and dancing around, having a good time, and just being happy kind of thing. He doesn't know, I can get like maybe 2-3 glasses of wine and I'll be fine. But I have to have my wits about myself because I don't know what to expect.
Well, let's talk about Sunday. What was Sunday? How were you, like, how many glasses of wine did you have? How many glasses of wine did he have? The bottle was gone. I mean, I don't know if you poured any out. Yes.
No, that was from previous.
You said that there was a half bottle left over.
Yeah, about this much.
And then that you had well, I don't even know how the wine, how'd you guys get the wine for Sunday?
I'm guessing he went to Publix.
Does he leave the house and you stay home, or do you go to Publix?
Sometimes I'll go with him.
Okay. Did you go with him Sunday to Publix?
So most of the time what happens is, because the convenience store where we get cigarettes is here, and then Publix literally is cattywampus to it.
Okay.
So what he'll do is he'll go by Publix, and then on the way back, catch the convenience store.
Okay.
So
is that what he did Sunday?
I'm guessing that's what he did, because the next thing I know, he's walking in with a bottle.
Okay.
So it's him trying to be nice, so I don't have to go out and do it. Plus, there's stuff that are around the house that I had to take care of. So that's usually what will happen. Or I'm folding laundry, and he'll go run out and do whatever.
Okay. So where were you guys at on drunkenness, not drunkenness on Sunday? You told us you weren't drunk.
No, I was not drunk.
Right.
I was not drunk. So with him, I don't know. I know when it's like, oh, okay, man, where I have told him, slow down. It's starting to catch up with you. Slow down. Slow down. And another thing, too, is I don't like listening to music with him because he gets too involved in the music, and the music that he listens to is a little rough around the edges, and it makes me fractious listening to his music. So I kept asking him, let's just you and me talk. You and me will just be the ones that are talking, which was fine, because, we were playing with the dog, whatever, and then it's like, okay, now let's do the painting. We just did the puzzle, took a break, now let's do this. Sure enough, sat down, we're sitting in there talking, laughing, talking about new movies, we're watching movie trailers while we're doing painting and all that other stuff. So it's still background noise to him, because I think that's what he's used to, is having background noise, where me, I can sit in here all day with not a peep. But he always has to have some kind of background noise, which I didn't mind because the trailers were cool, and he was interested in showing them to me, getting excited about movies that were out or upcoming.
Okay.
So
on your laptop you're talking about? Okay.
And and then it was...
But you said it was a good day, you guys didn't have any have any...
Just a general reminder, Sarah's determination of events, in which she is trying to get the police to believe, is that what happened was nothing but an accident. That Jorge and her are the kind of couple that does fun things like play hide and go seek with two people, with one person helping the other hide. Yet she constantly degrades Jorge throughout the interrogation. She is saying she doesn't like his music because it's too rough around the edges. She doesn't like to drink, and doesn't like it when he does because he gets too aggressive. She had to treat him like a toddler and take him from craft to craft the night of his death. Repeatedly, she takes every instance she can to speak negatively about him, even when it would make more sense for her to say they were reckless and fun-loving.
Conversations about your relationship, you guys didn't go down like the rabbit hole, like had too many to drink, and you guys start getting...
Nope, when I tell you this, it made me so happy that he actually listened to what I had to say with just, we'll get through it. This will be fine. It's just, it's a small hurdle that you and I together will get through because...
I'm talking about the money, jobs, daughters.
Yes.
Nothing relationship-wise, though. Like, no issues, did you guys have a conversation about your relationship, or was it just about...
Just like what's going on right now.
Got it.
I try to evoke it from him so he gets it off his chest because I call him the volcano where eventually he's going to erupt.
Right.
And what he has learned in his classes is to communicate, which is a huge thing in a relationship, where he has been practicing communication. So he actually talks to me about things and unburdens himself. Put it on me. I'll sit there and try and figure it out for you like I have almost everything. Not a worry. Just tell me. Get it out of you.
Right.
But it was, when I tell you, I was so happy. Like, it was such a good day. I kid you not. The weather was beautiful outside. I'm the one that had him go inside so we can do puzzles and painting and listen to music or whatever else he wants to do. So then he starts doing whatever it is we're doing together in the living room and then starts talking because I think he gets comfortable with, okay, you know what, we're here, it is a good day. Let me go ahead and explain myself. So I know. Nobody else knows, but I know. Nobody knew George better than I did. I say that I knew George better than himself. And I tried in every way, shape, and form. Ask everyone. I helped him. I took care of him. I miss him a lot, and I didn't even sleep last night. I miss him a lot.
I mean, is there any chance it got to be too much for you and you couldn't handle taking care of him and...
I never stopped. I never stopped. Okay. That's what I'm here for. I never stopped. I'm here now because I'm still trying to help him.
Yeah. We just don't, I mean, it's unexplainable how he got these injuries, and...
I have no idea.
You were the only one with him.
100% right hand to God. I have no idea how he got them. Nobody touched anybody. Nobody touched anybody.
Okay. You had mentioned that you would take photos, videos, just kind of like a proof and just in general.
Yeah, I started documenting at one point, but that was way before, I think, the last time that he got arrested, where he was flying off the deep end.
Okay.
But then I had him bailed out. I got him out of jail.
Right.
But because he had violated the pretrial diversion, this time it's probation, so you don't have a choice in it. You have to go to see your probation officer. You have to go to these classes. It's court-ordered. Where it took him a while to get used to it and understand, they're not messing around. I even went down and met his probation officer, which I say, she's wonderful. That's one of my questions, too, I need to talk to you about. Hugged me and said how much she knows that I take care of him. She called me personally one time when George was at work, when he was working. 42-minute phone call. She and I just saying how grateful she is that George has me. And she knows how hard I'm working to help him, just as she is and just as the classes will. So once he started actually going on a regular basis to the probation officer and then to his substance abuse class and his, I don't know what VIP stands for, Matters Intervention Program. and actually listening to what it is everyone had to say, he changed. Like I could see a change in him, where before lashing out, he would think about it. And would always come home and show me his papers, and we would look over his papers together, where it's like, wow, you actually are learning this in class? And some of the stuff that they would show them, like videos, he would come home and be like, Sarah, I'm so sorry for what I've done to you. Because for a video that he watches to make him feel that way, where it's like, oh man, I have done her wrong. But he's changed. He changed.
Sarah's enormous ego and her inflated self-worth is on full display here. According to her own friends and family, Sarah was an aggressive, angry drunk. She never made time for her son and often left him in the care of others, including men and women she didn't know. She had no job, was using Brian for money, and often screamed at him until he sent her any sort of cash. She would lash out at those around her and demand their respect, even when she was assaulting them. But she truly believes that she was helping Jorge. Not only that, she will constantly talk about what a good parent, wife, and person she was all around.
And that's why you're still with him, even though he's done all these things to you. And
when I tell you I love him, I love him.
Even when you love somebody, you have limits.
Everybody tells me that. All my neighbors don't tell me that. The office, property manager.
At some point, somebody gets enough, then they have to do something to defend themselves.
I would just flee. And I don't know if you would like to see on my phone, or I think it's actually on a laptop. I actually, because, and you have to understand too, I have, like, prior to classes in PO, kicked him out. How many times? I had him arrested. How many times?
But you also went down and bailed him out.
I know.
The next day.
I know.
What's on your laptop?
What was I going to tell you? Oh, previously, I actually looked up how to file a restraining order.
Okay.
Because I would take him out, his parents, because of them constantly having to take him back in, his bags of clothes, all his stuff. The last time, the father came out and irate and just not even, I don't even know if he knew Lucas was in the car. Just opened the back of my car and just started throwing all his crap in, just throwing it. Like the car would jostle, he was throwing all his stuff. At that point, because I continually did it, not continually, I think I maybe did it 3 times, and he has nowhere else to go, they got fed up and said, nope, either you're staying there or you're staying here. But if you're staying here at their place, it's permanent. You're not going back over there anymore. So what happens is, he pursues me. So I don't know if y'all know where Katie Way Trail is. Okay, so it's literally right there from our apartment. Would ride his bike to work, but before he would leave extra early and come up to the wall, stand on top of his bike and poke his head over because he would know that I would be outside having my morning cigarette and cup of coffee. And I would also know too what time he would get off of work, where I would know, come getting off of work, he's going to do the same thing. So it's not like I ever got like a break from him, where I told you all yesterday, or whenever it was, I started to feel that it was too much togetherness. And when you have too much togetherness, friction happens. So I'm going to go ride my bike. I'm going to go upstairs and read a book. But every waking moment, he wants to be with me. So, and mind you, our townhome is either upstairs or downstairs. So it's like, if you would like to sit downstairs and watch a movie or play on the laptop, look up some jobs, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to be upstairs maybe watching one of my shows or maybe reading a book. So, and then when that would happen, we really needed that. So what's for dinner? And then we would cook together and eat dinner and then crawl in the bed and watch a movie.
Are you talking about this is like recent? You kind of like lost me. Like what are you?
It was a little while ago.
But now you're talking about tension building up and that you need space. So have you been feeling that way lately, or
no?
Okay.
No. Okay. My thing is too, so you all know. Oh, I hate that you can't talk to her, but Dee, his ex-wife, when I say a monster, she's a monster. Like she withholds their children from speaking to him. So he gets upset about that, and then she like completely berates him about money, about the father that he is, what he did to her, all this other stuff. It doesn't matter. I mean, mind you, this has not like been recent, but which is why he didn't even bother calling anymore, because he knows that she's going to answer and he's going to have to talk to her, so therefore he can't talk to his daughter. The other time he talked to her, made her talk to Cookie. That's on my cell phone too, so you can see it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter.
What does she have to do, though, with anything about what happened Sunday and into Monday? Like,
no, I'm just saying, like, previously, why the incidents would happen is she plays a big part in it.
Okay.
On top of job and money and groceries and all that.
Okay.
Sunday, when I tell you this, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Is there anybody else at the house?
Nope, it's just me and him.
Since talking yesterday, do you remember any like timelines better? Like what time you guys were playing? What time he was zipped up in the luggage? What time you went upstairs?
We started because we cleaned the house a little bit, did some laundry.
You started the activities around 4, you said?
Yes, around 4:30ish, and then.
You just said that it was dark when you were playing hide and seek, and I'm just curious if you remember.
But when we were outside, that's where we would start and talk about things, and then eventually I was the one that had him come inside, so we could.
About what time? Do you remember what time that was? Is what she's asking.
You said you went up to bed around midnight, fell asleep around 12:30ish. But those are the only times I have. So I have 4 and I have midnight. So there's a big gap. So I'm just curious, like, if you recall when you went upstairs to hide in the shower, or
like when we started to play hide and seek.
Yeah.
Well, we went inside probably about, if I had to guess, we weren't out there too long. Maybe about 6-ish. Then
you're talking about from hanging out outside and like. Okay.
Well, we have 2 beach chairs that are out there. And just enjoy the weather.
Gotcha.
Plus, it started to get dark and gnats and mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So let's go inside. I don't want to be out here anymore.
Okay.
All right, let's go. So we're doing whatever. We did it for a while because that puzzle, I don't know if they took it or they saw it. Worked on the puzzle again, finished it. Started to paint. Well, started listening to music for a little bit. Started to paint. Can we turn the music off? No problem. Start at the top, paint, whatever. Maybe, gosh, that puzzle, we worked on that for probably a good hour and a half. So 8 o'clock-ish?
Is when you went to hide upstairs originally?
No, that's when we were like painting. So then it's like, okay, well, I don't want to paint anymore. Let's just, come on. Okay, you want to play hide and seek? What he does is, okay, tag, you're it. So it's like, okay, we know. Okay, take off. That's what we did.
And then you went upstairs, and then he didn't come up, and you came down, and the suitcase was there originally because you guys were planning to do donations, so it was already there. Have you guys ever played you said you played hide and seek like probably 3 times in your relationship. When you have played, have you ever zipped him up in a suitcase prior?
No.
Okay. So it was just kind of like that prop was there, and it was there, and it was in play because...
Why do you say it like that, though?
I would never do that.
You would never zip them up in a suitcase?
Sarah trying to state here she would never zip Jorge up in a suitcase because it's against her morals, despite having done that, is obviously absurd. It's also absurd that she told the detectives that Jorge and her only played hide and seek 3 times their whole relationship. Had she truly wanted to make this look like a tragic accident, she would have stated that the couple played all the time, and they frequently hide in small areas to scare each other, and it had never been a problem before. Her insistence that this was a truly strange thing to have happen makes her look even more guilty than she already does.
Well,
I mean, we were playing.
No, I know,
that
but
time,
I'm saying, I'm talking about hide and seek, which is a game, so...
The suitcase originally is in our closet, buried all the way to the back. I know the CSI people saw our closet. Our closet needs to be cleaned out really bad. My son's clothes need to be cleaned out really bad because they don't fit him anymore, and I'm tired of looking at them. So he took it upon himself, including that suitcase, to take it downstairs so we can get all of our clothes, our donations and everything, and just leave the whole thing by the clothing and shoe thing at my son's school.
Gotcha. No, I'm just asking, in the past, like, have you ever zipped him up in anything, jokingly or not, but obviously
No.
I understand, you know, you're claiming that Sunday it was a joking matter, you were laughing, he was laughing, but what I'm just asking is in the past, like, is it something that you guys normally do?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
We were actually this last game running out of places to hide because we have a townhome where it's upstairs or downstairs. So.
Okay, so do you remember making any videos or maybe having any any photos, videos that you remember doing on your phone on Sunday?
No.
No?
I think I took a picture of a dog.
Okay. But your phone is password protected, you have the password, he has the facial recognition, so it's not like someone else could be on your phone.
No, I have both.
But you have the face and the password?
Yes.
Yeah, but he only has the face, correct?
No.
To be able to get onto your phone, you told me that he looks at the phone.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you were asking me if I did. Yes, it's me.
Okay. Does he have access to your phone? Because you said it's a shared phone. Okay, how does he have access?
Sarah, can I borrow your phone? Yeah, it's right there on the kitchen counter.
Okay, but how does he get into it because it's password protected?
He'll come and get it to me and I'll just do the face thing. Where sometimes too, like he'll joke with me and say, okay, I need to borrow your phone. And he'll hold up while I'm cooking or just something, do the facial recognition.
Okay, so he doesn't know the password and he doesn't have the facial recognition.
No.
But he is the only other person that would use your phone, I'm assuming, other than...
Well, Lucas.
Right. But Lucas wasn't there Sunday. Right. So, to your recollection, no videos on Sunday?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, I get my phone, I maybe took a picture of them, the two of Tess and
the dogs,
and George and them dancing, but I mean, it's just Tess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have something that I want to show you that we found, and it was from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
If you need to move it around, go ahead.
No, I don't remember that.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me.
Your battery's about to die.
Shut it down.
Oh, okay.
Let me.
The battery doesn't last very long.
Yeah, it used to last a lot longer than that. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Let me just grab something.
All right.
This computer shutdown was either extremely well planned or incredible timing. The detectives are playing their ace in the hole and showing Sarah that they have the video she took the previous day of her maliciously taunting her dying boyfriend. If Sarah had truly been aware of this video's existence before now, and it was the product of a blackout, her mind would be racing as to what the video is. They already showed her a small clip of her taunting Jorge, so she knows that it makes her look guilty, and that alone will cause her stress to build. If she was aware of the video, as I expected she was, but simply tried to delete it, now she is aware that the police have direct evidence of her guilt, and her mind will be rushing to try and explain away her callous actions in the video. The next couple of minutes where the female detective gets the computer charger and Sarah is forced to sit down, knowing that the evidence of her guilt is about to be played, will be incredibly illuminating. Let's watch as she tries to convince the detectives of her innocence in the face of certain guilt.
No, I was just simply asking because you had a look on your face when she asked you if you've ever done that before. You looked kind of shocked. And
No.
okay, but why did you say it like that? Like,
I don't think you all understand who I am.
okay. Well, tell me.
I mean, I've always been a straight A student. I am an outstanding mother to my son. I excel at everything. I would not do that.
You wouldn't lock somebody in a suitcase?
Well, I didn't like completely lock it. I mean, I opened it with one finger. I left enough in there for him to get out.
Okay.
And I wasn't planning on going upstairs and going to sleep.
Sarah is in her 40s. It would have been 2 decades since she was in school. Therefore, her continuously defining herself as a straight-A student means nothing. Earlier in this very interview, she wasn't sure when her son had last been in her home, and moreover, both her ex-husband and current landlord described her as neglectful at best. Similarly, she isn't an overachiever or even an underachiever, as she refuses to even attempt achieving. She doesn't really even do anything. She mostly just chooses to rely on her ex to give her money. Her idea of herself as a woman who could never do anything wrong is completely delusional, and she isn't aware of that fact. At this point, she knows that the police have talked to those around her, but she expects that they would have heard nothing but good things. At this point, she's trying to distract from the evidence that's about to be shown by repeating just how good of a person she is. It's nearly comical until you remember that a man died, and her son has been neglected by her for years.
Okay. No, it's just the way you said it.
You guys are scaring me.
Why?
Well, we just want you to watch this. It came from your phone. Don't you want to know what's on it?
Yes, please. Is it long? Because I don't know how much I can take.
No.
I don't know how much I can take.
I don't know how to find your...
Do I have to watch this? I continuously throw up. I don't sleep. I don't want to see it, if that's okay.
Well, it's on your phone, and you can either explain it or we take it for what it is.
Yeah. We're just trying to give you the opportunity to tell us what's going on. That's it.
It's that long?
2 minutes.
No.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me. Fuck you.
And that's
Fuck
just,
you.
that's you, your voice.
Stupid. Sarah. That's my name. Don't wear it up. I can't fucking breathe. Yeah, that's when you do it. You choke me.
I don't want to watch it, please.
Last time we talked to you, you had said that you put him in the suitcase, he had 2 fingers hanging out.
I flipped him over. I flipped him over, and that's where it was.
There's 2 different videos and a still picture where, yeah, it shows you flipping him in different positions and him saying that he can't breathe and you saying fuck you.
So this is upside down. So in order for him to have gotten into it,
it was flipped up.
Right. It was flipped up normal.
Yes.
Like as if you're packing something. So this is upside down.
Guys, this is killing me right now.
So this image is upside down, and then this small video that occurred 11 minutes later, it's flipped over the other way, closer to your dining room table.
Okay.
Now he's obviously still in there. So he didn't, how did it go from the back to the front?
I flipped it.
Okay.
My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep.
Well, that's what you did.
Yeah.
But not intentional of.
No, you told me you went upstairs because you were getting ready for bed.
Stopped here.
Okay, but
Where's here?
show me where you can see any fingers coming out, because there's the end.
It's, and his head's right here.
Mm-hmm.
So going like this, rather than going all the way up, it's like this.
But why is he saying I can't breathe, and why is he pushing on it as if he can't get out?
And it doesn't show a hole.
There's no hole. There's no fingers. I don't see his fingers. There's no hole.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't know, like, what you want me to tell you.
I'm just telling you what we see and what we've heard from the other video.
I understand.
He's begging for you to let him out. You're laughing in the beginning, and then in the end it sounds kind of like a...
No, it's not malicious.
Well, saying fuck you.
It's not malicious.
Then what is that?
What does fuck you mean to you?
Sarah is beginning to get angry as she realizes she is losing control of the situation. She makes multiple declarations, like the video that they played showed Jorge and her messing around, that she didn't lock him in a suitcase, and that she wasn't being malicious when she said, fuck you. When the detective immediately counters that fuck you is about as malicious as you can get, she snaps at him that it isn't, and it's clear she wants to fight. She is trying to control herself, as she is no longer in a position where her outbursts will be accepted, but she is furious here, trying to regain composure and control, and assert that what she is saying is true, despite it going against reality.
Well,
like if I were to tell my
like he does. Like, I get called everything but a white woman, so
okay.
My intention was not to leave him in there. Please understand that. My intention was not to leave him in there.
But you went upstairs thinking that he could get himself out, but the video shows
That's
at
what I
no
told
point
you.
can I see his fingers. And
He'll be up here any minute.
And then 30 minutes later, he didn't show.
And he's telling you
And I
he
didn't
can't
wake
breathe.
up.
Do you think
not
he's
able to get out.
joking? You told me he was laughing, and
We were before.
The video, there's no
When we
laughing.
first got in there, both of us were.
So how long was he in there for? Like, this video is at 11:12 when it starts, so was he in there for like a long time prior to you recording this?
No.
So it goes from funny to no longer funny, but you're the only one laughing.
But I didn't think that he was, like, panicky. Like,
So pushing up on a suitcase saying, Sarah, 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 I can't breathe.
George has done that in the past before, too, where it's just like he thinks that he's woe is me kind of thing, where it's like,
He's never been locked in a suitcase. That's where he couldn't get out. So
it's kind of, I thought it was the boy
oxygen
crying wolf kind of thing.
As previously mentioned, the entire beginning of the interrogation was fact-finding on the detective's part. They deliberately asked if Jorge and her ever zipped each other up in luggage before, or if the couple had done anything like this before, and she aggressively asserted that that had never happened. That question had been deliberately asked for this very moment, because now, her stating that Jorge would cry wolf and pretend to be in dire circumstances is negated by the fact she had previously said something like this had never happened before.
Okay.
And again, my plan...
But nowhere in there is he laughing, is he joking. He is begging. And you're the only one laughing.
Okay.
And you're the only one saying derogatory comments. Like you're mad.
No. Please don't... I don't mean to sound negative, and I don't know if I can say this, but, like, it's like you guys are kind of trying to, like, feed me. Like,
no, I'm just trying to show you a video that you no longer want to watch because you probably don't want to know the outcome of how and what you said.
Well, I know what...
You know what's on that video now?
No.
You remember making that video?
No.
Why don't you remember making the video?
Probably because we had been drinking.
But you weren't drunk.
No. Just because I went upstairs and... Just because you're drunk doesn't mean that you...
You told us times that you were not drunk. You said that you had your wits about you. You said he had his wits about you.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you don't like not having your wits. In my experience, if somebody cannot remember doing something to the extent of making 2 videos and taking a photo, they are intoxicated.
Okay. I understand where you all are coming from.
Well, we're just trying to make sense of it. We're trying to figure out what you're saying.
We're trying to figure out this video.
You explain it to us. We're listening.
I just did. Like, we were playing, and then, like, I thought it was... My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep. My plan was not to... He'll be up here any minute.
But you willingly went upstairs and went to sleep. No one forced you to go upstairs and get
My
ready
plan
for
wasn't
bed.
also to leave him in the suitcase.
So why didn't you take him out?
Because I went upstairs, and then I fell asleep.
But why didn't you consciously think, he's asking to come out, he
I
can't
didn't do it
breathe.
intentionally.
What do you think is going to happen if you leave somebody in a confined space like that?
Well, I thought by not zipping it up all the way, it would be okay. My plan was not to leave him in the
And what was
suitcase,
your plan?
waiting for him to come upstairs.
And then when he did it?
I fell asleep.
You said you were up there 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, somebody not coming up.
Knowing that the last time you saw him was in the suitcase, 30 minutes later, you're like, maybe I should go check on him, maybe I shouldn't?
No.
Well, that didn't cross your mind because it didn't happen.
That's like an assumption. Like, that's what you all are thinking. Just,
We're asking.
it's the whole,
You tell us.
it's the drinking. That's what it is. It's the drinking. I thought it was like, I thought he was okay. Like, I didn't,
He's telling you he's not. He's telling you, Sarah, I can't breathe. He's saying your name and you're like, that's my name, don't wear it out.
Guys, that's how we are with each other. Like, nobody understands our relationship. The whole suitcase thing never happened before.
Would you leave someone else in a suitcase? Would you leave Lucas in a suitcase jokingly? Because it was a joking matter. You put him in there jokingly. Would you leave Lucas jokingly in there? And you love Lucas, right? And you love
I wouldn't do
George.
that to him either. I wouldn't do that to him.
So I just.
Well, it's not like, again, I don't think you all understand. Like, it's not that was not my intention.
Well,
y'all don't have any idea what I've done for him.
But by your acts, and that's exactly right. You get to the point where you've done so much for somebody and they don't show you any appreciation.
He did.
Not by your words in the video. I don't get that.
He did.
Because you bring up the fact that when he's choking you, you can't breathe. That's how you felt when he cheated on you. You couldn't breathe. And you verbally, several times, told him just, fuck you.
Well, you said it in the video, but you won't let us play the rest of it because you don't want to.
When I say cheating, it's on his phone.
Okay. Cheating is cheating.
I think so, too.
Exactly.
It's your definition of cheating, though. So, I mean, that's what the word cheat means.
And that's what you told him in the video. That I couldn't breathe when you cheated on me.
No.
That's how I felt when he said, Sarah, I can't breathe. And you told him,
I don't
fuck
know
you.
what this is.
What would you say if somebody told you that they had done this?
Done what?
Zip somebody in a suitcase and went up and went to bed.
Do you all not think, so you all think that it's like, oh good, I got him in there, now I'm going to go to sleep? Is that what you guys are trying to assume? Or trying to
the video is very portraying of the opposite of what you told us.
No.
It is not leading up, it is not matching what statement you gave us in the car.
So,
and that's why we want to know.
And I don't remember doing those.
The injuries are not consistent with what you told us. So we have a lot of inconsistencies, and this video explains itself. It really, truly does.
You don't think that I had thought about that?
Thought about the video or thought about...
But no, again, if you don't mind, please. So you all are assuming that it's like, oh, good, I got him in there, now I'm going to go to sleep? Is that what you all are assuming?
Well, it's not an assumption when that's what you told us that happened.
That's what happened.
And the video...
Yeah.
I mean...
But I'm not going to say...
You thought he could get out on his own.
Yes.
But the video shows that he cannot get out on his own.
But when I unzipped it with one finger.
From the outside.
But it had the hole in it.
And you're claiming that it had a paper clip, so that's what assisted you in doing it.
No.
That's what you told us.
When I had my sweatshirt, I said I thought it had a paper clip on it. It's got...
But the zipper part is broken.
Yes, which is why we were going to zip it.
Yeah.
I just...
You were able to unzip it from the outside very easily, because that's the way they're designed.
But you could on the inside, too. I don't know how...
Well, why wouldn't he have gotten himself out if he could?
I don't know. I don't know if he saw, where the hole was. I don't know.
I didn't see a hole.
No
I
one
didn't
sees
see
the
no
hole.
fingers
You're the
sticking
only
out.
one that's what I'm saying. Like, he's in one position, and where his head would be, we should be able to see fingers. And then when it's flipped over onto this right side, again, his head is closer to us facing the video, so we should be able to see fingers, and we don't see anything. We see no movement of him trying to unzip it or physically unzipping it. All we see is pushing up, trying to push out of it.
Please do not assume.
I'm not assuming. I haven't assumed anything. I follow evidence.
But my intention was not, again, oh good, I got him in there, now I'm just going to go to sleep.
What do you think someone that knows nothing about this or hears just a little bit like, oh, they were playing around in a suitcase
She's been
and
drinking
then
and
watches
probably
that
went to
video?
sleep. That's what happened.
But you let him out before. I mean, you put him in, so why didn't you take him out?
Because I was upstairs and I fell asleep.
No, before you went upstairs. You, like, consciously had to walk upstairs. I mean, you obviously remember going to bed because you were able to give me a time frame on that. And you specifically told me that you went upstairs.
My intention is not for this to happen. I am sick about it. I've never done anything like this before in the past. I am sick, especially with that. I thought I couldn't sleep last night. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. You tell us the last night, you vividly remember this when you told us last night, that he was laughing, you were laughing, you put him in the suitcase, he has two fingers sticking out, and you go to bed. Now we see something totally different, and it actually shows you upset and, again, using derogatory terms to him when he's begging for his life to get out of that suitcase.
So
what,
but my thing
you
is
say
that
we're assuming, we're not assuming,
but
we're
the
telling
finger,
you what's on there.
so it just happened to be that whenever I was videotaping or doing whatever else it was, just happened to not have that in it.
Okay. And you also, in the video, you can't see any holes. There's nowhere in that where the zipper separates and you can see a hole. If there's a hole, he's pushing on it, begging you to get out. We should probably see that hole.
He essentially would have been able to get out.
Yeah.
Alcohol.
Based off what you're telling us, he should have been able to get out.
Okay.
But the video shows him attempting to get out, begging to get out, and he can't. So that's just what we're trying to figure out. I don't know if maybe you had too much to drink, you zipped it up all the way, and then,
I did not zip it up all the way.
Okay, well.
I did not zip it up all the way. This is horrific, okay? Horrific.
It is terrible.
Yeah,
horrific. I don't think I'll ever be right because of this. Ever be right. Dealing with everything else that I have in my life, personally, and then this, whom I loved, it was not intentional. I will put my hand on the Bible. It was not intentional.
Let's say for a moment Sarah was being honest, and it wasn't intentional. She didn't mean to zip it up all the way. She believed Jorge would be able to get out, and her telling him that he should shut the fuck up because he couldn't breathe was all in good fun. And she was just made aware and had to watch every second of the last things she ever said and did to her partner being that. Would this be her reaction? No, probably not. Again, any normal person would be horrified seeing their actions encapsulated on film the way hers was. It's been less than a day since his passing, and she is witnessing herself verbally assault the man she purported to love, and she can't even muster a tear. Even if any part of this had been accidental, which it assuredly wasn't, her callous, uncaring reaction betrays her continued insistence that she is innocent. I'm going to play the rest of the footage in its totality, as her downward spiral and escalating aggression, mixed with her inability to grasp reality, is interesting to watch. Gaslighting as a term gets thrown around frequently, but this is an instance in which a person is desperately trying to gaslight two much smarter individuals into believing that what she is saying is accurate, that her leaving her boyfriend in a suitcase is not at all suspicious, and that she isn't technically at fault for anything.
I would not do that to him nor anyone else.
But you did.
Not intentional.
You intentionally went up to bed.
I didn't intentionally go to bed because I'm thinking, okay, good, he can get out.
How did you not intentionally go to bed? You said you went upstairs and got into bed. That's intentionally going to bed.
Waiting for him.
And he doesn't come, but you don't go down to check on him.
So I happen to go to sleep. When I say go to sleep,
And what do you
it goes
normally do
off
when you
whatever
go to
you're
bed?
gonna do.
What do you normally do when you go to bed?
What do you mean?
What is a bed for? Going to sleep.
Right.
So you go to
But
bed to
obviously
do
you
what?
can tell too that, like, I've
You
been
go to
drinking
bed
also.
to do what? Okay. You kept telling us, hey, I wasn't intoxicated. I wasn't this. I wasn't that.
Being drunk and intoxicated, which, yes,
Okay.
you can tell that I had been drinking, but
Okay. So if you weren't intoxicated, then why would you ever leave somebody in a suitcase that's begging to get out, that's telling you they can't breathe?
if I hadn't been drinking, you still think it would be the same thing? Where it's like, hop in, I'm gonna go to sleep. Is that what you all are trying to do? To portray me
We're not trying
as?
to do anything. I'm simply asking you to explain to me what happened.
Everything was fine and dandy.
I don't call it fine and dandy.
Was fine and dandy.
Explain
You
to
all
me how.
don't, okay, for me to tell you this, again, mind you, I've been without him for a day now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I mean, I don't know what you all want me to tell you, because this was not in any way, shape, or form, hand on the Bible, intentional.
Okay. So you just left
I
him there to
didn't kill
teach
him.
You left him there to teach him a lesson?
I didn't mean to leave him there. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You got up and walked away. How is that not intentionally leaving him there?
Because I'm looking at the hole, knowing that it's there. He'll get out and no home. Because you don't.
And then he doesn't, but you don't go check on him. You say you're up for 30 minutes and he doesn't come up. You don't go down and check on him?
I'm in the bed.
You even moved,
And off.
you admit to moving the suitcase, like, over. So
You roll it.
You roll it over, like, it's not like...
I didn't want it to be like that.
You didn't want him to be upside down? How do you even get upside down?
Right. You guys are killing me right now.
I just want you to hear...
That's how he talks to me most of the time. I don't know how you want me to say it.
I'm just trying to figure out what you would expect to happen to somebody when you leave them in a suitcase.
I didn't mean to leave him in there.
Okay.
What's your reasoning for not calling 911 sooner?
Because I didn't know what to do and how horrific it was. I called Ryan, and 5 minutes later I called you guys? Not even 5 minutes. Nonetheless, that I had to I was trying to do CPR. I had to get him out and try to do CPR, and then called you guys. And then was continually doing CPR with the dispatch on the phone, where he had me count out loud to help me focus on what I was doing.
It just... I don't know how... I mean, you can sit here all day long and say, I thought he was going to get himself out, but that he didn't, and you went upstairs, and you stayed there for 30 minutes before you fell asleep.
But can I say, too,
You chose not to ever at any point during that 30 minutes walk back down and check on him.
No, wait 1 second, because I know, with you all, and then, because you continually ask me, time frames, where I told you, I don't bother even looking at the clock most of the time. So it's a guesstimate. So for all I know, maybe it was 10 minutes.
Okay. But the point is, you left the living room where he was begging for help and went upstairs. Regardless of how long you were there, you left. You say,
I thought he was the boy calling wolf. Again.
Okay.
So when he asked to be let out, what's your reasoning for not letting him out?
When I was upstairs?
No, when he's asking on the video. He asked multiple times. He asked to be let out. I can't breathe. Why didn't you let him out?
Well, number one, I had no idea it was going to end like that.
Okay.
Number one.
Okay.
Number two, just, you know what? I'll give you 5 minutes or so in there. They'll give you 5 minutes or so.
5 minutes for what?
Well, based off the video, one video is at 11:12 and the next one's at 11:23, so you actually gave him at least 11 minutes per video recording. So my thing is, when it stopped, he asked multiple times, I mean, why? Why did you not let him out? It's just a simple question.
To be honest with you, I mean,
don't
Were you punishing him?
No, just.
Well, that's what you're saying in the video.
This is what you get. This is
Yep.
what you make me feel like.
See, and then it's all backfired on me. Like, it's all backfired on me. And I understand the severity of this. I just.
Yeah, he's dead.
It's awful, I know.
Okay.
It's awful. And I will tell you both this right now, too. I will never drink alcohol again.
Okay.
Like, I will never drink alcohol again. I don't care what it is in any way, shape, or form.
But let's get back to this. What was the reason for leaving him when he's begging to be let out? I don't understand that.
What I have a feeling was, and again, it's the whole time frame thing. You all keep
I'm not asking a time frame. I don't care about a time frame. He's
So-
in the bag saying, I can't.
My God.
And you say, fuck you.
When he, so like, for like the whole few minutes that he was in there, like
Minimum 11, but yes,
Oh.
go ahead. It's a few. 11, minimum.
For the one video.
Well, in between the two videos, it's
Between the
11
two
minutes.
videos? Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the question again?
When he's begging for his life, telling you he can't breathe, let me out, and you say, fuck you, why don't you just let him out? What are you trying to prove to him? There was obviously something in your head that you were thinking of when he was asking to be let out, and you're like, no,
Again, it's the
no.
boy calling wolf.
Okay, but where does this game end? Did you say this is a game? You got somebody in
Obviously,
there.
like the wrong way.
So what was your intention for leaving him in there?
And it's not fair. It is not fair. You guys are trying to, again, he's in there. Night, night.
That's what happened.
No.
That's absolutely what happened.
Intentionally.
How's it not? You got up off the couch, walked up the flight of stairs, and got in your bed.
Thinking he was going to get out.
And he didn't, and you still didn't go down and
And
check
it's
on
the
him.
whole 30-minute thing that you guys are trying
I
to
don't care
do.
about 30
Whatever.
minutes.
It's like, for all I know, it's like 10
He's begging for
minutes.
his life. He's begging for his life, telling you he can't breathe.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't. I didn't intentionally mean for this to happen.
But you
Then what
can't
did you
tell us
intend?
why you left him in there and went upstairs. That's my only issue. Like, what am I supposed to write? What do I write?
So my thing is, though, it's what I have a feeling is I went upstairs and just hit the bed kind of thing. But, again, I'm thinking he'll be up here in a minute. But then I go out.
But my question is, why didn't you just let him out prior to going up?
I don't know why.
He's begging to be let out. He's not laughing. He's not having fun.
Guys, I know. I don't
this
know.
was supposed to be fun. You were laughing before. Before you said he was laughing, you were laughing, you went upstairs, he had his fingers out of the bag, and he was playing. Well, obviously that's not the case.
So are you guys, so what is it you're trying to, like...
We're just trying to figure out why.
Why? What?
Why?
What was the motivation for leaving him in the bag?
Why he was left in the bag? Why the video?
I didn't have any motivation. It was he and I having a great day, fooling around and being stupid, and apparently me going upstairs and hitting the bed, not going to sleep, where it's like, I'm tired now, I'm going to go to sleep.
That's excluding, it's a good analogy for the day, excluding the fact that he's got a bump on the back of his head, a bump on the front of his head, and his lip is busted, and he has a bump on his eye.
I don't know what you all want me to tell you. Like, this is not fair at all,
Yes.
that you all are assuming that that's from me.
Where else did it come
If
from?
you were, say it's opposite, you were in the suitcase and you're asking to be let out, would you hope that that person would let you out? Like, you're asking to be let out of a suitcase, should they not let you out?
Eventually. I'm guessing. I mean, I'm blaming it on the wine.
Blaming it on the wine.
So you guys are like assuming that.
You keep saying we're assuming, well, we're not, we
We're
haven't assumed
asking you
anything.
questions.
But you guys are assuming that that's what I did.
No, by what
Like, this is
the facts of what happened. We got there. You said you pulled him out of a suitcase. You said you went up. You went to bed. We're not assuming that. These are the facts that you're telling us.
But
now
what
we're
you said
asking
is
you
like,
to
oh, I'm
explain
tired. Oh, I'm tired.
Well, that's what you told me on a sworn recorded statement yesterday. Because when I said, oh, you went upstairs and passed out, you were like, no, I did not pass out. You got attitude with me because you were you
Yep.
thought I was assuming that you were drunk. So that's an assumption. That was an assumption when I said
Yeah.
you passed out. And guess what? You corrected me.
You were very adamant about the fact that both of you had your wits about you. What's your favorite word to use?
Compass mentis.
You've used it today too, to say that you guys were within your wits. There's two empty bottles of wine.
No, but we didn't drink both of them.
I think you did.
We didn't.
There's receipts for the
They were
statement
both
back there.
purchased yesterday, so I don't know how you didn't, because they weren't there the day before.
The one was.
Two Publix receipts from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing purchased on either one was a single bottle of wine, 2 of them. So we have each bottle of wine that was empty in your garbage can that you purchased yesterday, or he purchased, but you two would have consumed together.
Okay, well, I
mean, there's receipts, so it's not even worth the going back.
So this is, so I don't know what you guys are, I don't know.
We were just hoping that we could figure out why you.
What was the motivation?
There was no motivation.
Wow.
Well, we're watching a video that, after talking to you, everything was laughing and fun. Now we're watching a video where it's not laughing and fun. He's begging for his life, and you are in a very angry voice telling him to fuck off.
No.
Yes,
It's not.
that's absolutely what it was. It's not an assumption. The video's there. We played it for you.
So you guys think that I intentionally.
You did.
It
You got up
doesn't matter
off the couch
it doesn't
and
matter
walked
what
up
we
the couch, or walked up the stairs and got into bed. That was intentional. There's no way getting around that. You intentionally did that. Nobody drugged you up there. You didn't float up damn stairs.
Okay, well, it's not fair. It's not fair that you guys keep trying to say that that's what I did.
I don't know what to tell you.
You told us that. You didn't go upstairs?
Again, there was a hole in a suitcase. I unzipped it from the hole with one finger.
Well, the damn hole didn't do him no good, did it?
But he could push it open.
No, he
Did he?
couldn't. The video
No.
shows him pushing up.
And
If he could push it open, why wouldn't he have gotten out himself? Why would he beg you to open it?
I tell
Okay.
you, he can't breathe.
Okay.
If someone can do something for themselves, they're going to do it. They don't need assistance, unless they need assistance.
So, but why would he start doing it?
Because he couldn't, because it was all the way zipped.
Okay.
Didn't see it.
It wasn't. I intentionally didn't do it. That I intentionally did not do.
What's that? You didn't intentionally do what?
Zip it all the way. He nor I.
Well, he's dead as a result
laid
of your
hands
action.
on each other.
He is dead as a result of
I
your
understand
action.
that. That's why
You two didn't lay hands on each other.
No. No. I don't have anything.
You're right.
He doesn't. Whatever that is, whatever it
He
is.
does.
See, this is what happens. It's not fair that you guys, just because he has those, automatically blame it on me. Like,
Well,
Where
what
else
about
did he go?
when you had your injuries and he gets arrested? Is that not fair?
really? Like,
It's
really?
the exact
Yes.
same thing.
Really?
He has injuries. You have injuries. Like, what does that mean?
I don't have any injuries.
Correct.
Because
So
he
nothing
and I
happened to
have
you.
not been at it with one another.
So every time that you guys fight, you both hit each other? So you should have probably
No.
gone to jail all those times that he went to
No.
jail for domestic?
Well, the one time I did. But he completely trashed the police report. Because that's nothing what happened. Because the reason why I got taken in was because my story was different than his. So I'm being portrayed as like this abuser.
We're not saying that he doesn't abuse you.
Absolutely.
We're not saying.
So I'm the one that's being portrayed as the aggressor.
Because
I have never dealt with anything like this before. I don't know what to do, how to do it, and I always know what to do and how to do it. This, I don't know. So I don't know, like, what's going on or, like...
We are simply trying to find out as well. Again, we got one side of the story. You're telling us we're going with what you're saying, but then we find stuff that negates what you're telling us.
And I don't even remember doing that.
Okay. You're telling us that we're assuming stuff, but what we're simply doing is telling you what we saw in the video and repeating what you told us.
I understand. Because I don't remember that.
Okay. Doesn't mean it didn't happen just because you don't remember it.
So is the texting thing something about me? Like, what's...
The what? Texting? Oh, no, I'm texting.
No,
You guys are scaring me, so, like, I don't know, like, what to expect. I mean, I had questions of things that need to be taken care of. Like, I don't...
What are your questions?
I have one last question. You realize you're the person that killed him, right?
I thought about that.
Okay, you left him in a bag when he's begging you, saying, I can't breathe, let me out, and you said, fuck you. And you got up off the couch and went upstairs and left him in that bag.
Not intentionally.
Again,
I would never do that to George.
you did.
Not
It happened.
intentionally. Know that.
I don't.
Know that.
You got up and you went up to bed.
Alcohol is a shitty thing. It's alcohol.
So
not, again...
the reason that you killed him?
You all...
Please sit down.
Listen to me.
Please sit down.
You all, listen. I did not intentionally kill him.
So your intention...
I don't know what it is I need to do or how to do it or what to say or how to say it.
But what was your intention?
Everyone knows. Everyone knows. Everything that I've done for George and love him and continuously helped him throughout his life with me and made him a happier, better person.
And everybody has their limits.
Everyone knows that.
Everybody has their limits.
So it's like, okay, so while we're in a good place right now, I'm going to snap. Is that what while we're in a good place right now?
You did.
Yes, absolutely. I got you on video screaming, fuck you.
This is what it feels like when you're choking me. This is what it feels like.
Which was however long ago.
You said
The video was from last night.
Clearly,
So it wasn't that,
inside you.
yeah.
There's still feelings towards it. You wouldn't say it if you didn't feel it.
But I would never do that.
But it happened, and you did.
But
that's after being playful.
But no one's
And
laughing.
having a good day.
No one's laughing except you.
Everybody's having a good day. Oh, I'm sorry?
I would hate to see a bad day.
Y'all are making me out to be a person that I'm not. Or will I ever be.
Or are you a different person when you're drunk?
People have different personalities after they consume alcohol.
It depends. Well...
Because you're sober now, so sober you...
Nice
Well, what
person,
about drunk
easy
you?
going.
Not... It's both of us. It's both of us. And it's not fair that you all are assuming that the marks that he has on him are from me.
We asked you where they came from.
I have no idea.
Well, nobody else was there, so nobody else was
I have no idea. I swear I did not lay a hand on him.
Okay. You just zipped them in the bag.
Nor he.
You just zipped them in the bag. And then you flipped the bag around several times.
I didn't do that intentionally.
You didn't intentionally flip the bag around?
No. Why would I do that?
Well, you
Good
told us
question,
you
you
did.
When he was upside down.
Right.
Well, you had to put him upside down.
You can't get in a suitcase upside down because the...
Oh my gosh.
When you put the stuff in where his body was...
That's the unfortunate thing too, is nobody else was there. That's the
We have a
unfortunate
video
thing.
showing the suitcase in several different positions. So it shows, one, like she just said, it had to have been on its back with the lid open for him to get in there, for you to zip it up. Then it shows it on the other side with him in it, so you had to flip it to there. Then there's another video where it's on his back again, so you had to flip it to
I'm
there.
leaving it like this, please. I'm leaving it like this. I did not intentionally do this. No malicious content or effort was towards this. No malicious.
I would
I'm
say
disappointed
does that
that-
help you sleep, but you're not sleeping, so.
I mean,
Last night, I
the-
maybe got an hour.
Right.
in your voice, you can hear the maliciousness. The fuck you is very, very.
You don't talk to people
Obvious.
like that. That's not like a common like,
Nope.
hey Scott, fuck you.
Thank
That's not common. It's not something people do. And no one that sees that is gonna think that.
Okay.
So we were trying to give you an opportunity, and it is what it is.
There's no maliciousness towards
Okay.
that.
So I would probably be telling myself that too
My
after that video.
intent was not for that to happen.
But you went upstairs and went to bed. Or maybe you passed out, I don't know. whichever.
Waiting for him. And the whole time frame thing, it's like, it's
Regardless.
that's not really fair.
Regardless, waiting for him, it's not like you walked up the stairs. You can't fly up the stairs, no one can take you up the stairs.
Okay.
You go up the stairs, you lay in the bed, and you wait for him. Who cares if it's 5 minutes? Who cares if it's 30 freaking seconds? He's begging for his life. He's begging to get out. You go upstairs.
You leave them.
It doesn't matter. So get the time frame out of your mind. It
This
doesn't
whole
matter.
thing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because there's this, so it doesn't matter anything what it is I say. So it makes no difference whatsoever.
It's just you're lying and like you're now changing
Who's
your story.
lying about what?
You're now you were drunk.
Oh, I never said that I was drunk.
Exactly, but you did here today. That's okay.
You said earlier.
Everything recorded.
Alcohol.
You blamed it on the alcohol.
You blamed it on the alcohol. Alcohol does a lot to people.
Yes, but I never said I was drunk.
Okay.
You did.
So you did this. You did this sober. You knowingly left him down there sober.
I have already told both of you also that we were both drinking.
Right.
Okay.
But you want to admit that you were drunk? Is that?
I'm telling you all both. This has changed my life. I will take this. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a true statement.
Absolutely. But you're trying to dance around the fact that
So,
you
but what
did
are you?
leave
Okay,
him there.
just.
You left him in there. You did trying to
Oh my
dance around the
gosh,
fact that you left him in there.
This is not.
You didn't leave him in there?
It's not cool. Like, this is not cool.
It's not cool.
That
He's dead. It's
but
not
you
cool.
think that I did that intentionally. You think that I did that intentionally.
You intentionally left him in there and left the room. You went upstairs to a different room.
You intentionally did that.
You did.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking he's going to get out.
Okay, and he didn't.
Obviously not.
When somebody's begging, saying, I
But
can't
when you
breathe.
say that, though, but you have to, y'all
Please let me out. I can't
y'all
breathe.
don't know George, though. Like, again, I thought it was the boy crying wolf. So it's just like, what?
Oh, so if your son was in there and said, I can't breathe, are you going to open it, or is he 9, so he's not,
Really?
It's not a big deal. I'm just asking a question.
Well, you
Right.
said you would never put your son in a suitcase. You would only put George in there.
No, George got in a suitcase.
And you
Well.
zipped it up.
Not all the way and not intentionally to leave him there.
But that's what happened. But you keep going away from it.
I don't know.
That's exactly what happened. You went up to bed, woke up the next
Are
day.
you all trying to have me admit that? Like, are you trying to have me admit that? Because I will never admit it because it's not true. It's not true.
I'm basically stating as a fact because that's what happened.
Okay.
You videotaped him asking to be let out. You go upstairs.
So what, guys? So what? Like, just, I don't know what you want me to say other than it was not out of maliciousness or intentional. I don't know what or how I can say it. I love George. Love him. To this day still. Love him.
Love makes you do crazy things.
It's not one of those things where it's like, oh gosh, you know what? I've done enough for you at this point. I never gave up on him.
Okay.
Why I'm here today, I'm still not giving up on him. I would do anything for him.
Well, you gave up checking up on him.
I wouldn't let him out of a suitcase.
Oh gosh. Okay.
We're simply just trying to go through. I mean, again, you gave us a completely different story that you churched up to. This was such a laughing matter.
It was fun.
Not by that
All
video.
day. All
Not
day.
by that video. That
All
part
day.
wasn't. Anybody looking at it doesn't. I don't think anybody would look at that video and go, George is having fun right now.
So why is it you all think that y'all don't know me, you don't know me.
Nope.
Would do something like that, especially having a 9-year-old son.
I don't know.
Like why?
9-year-old son would be.
Like
why are you so like caught on what we think?
Yeah.
When
because
you should be more concerned about what you've told us.
It's because like you guys are like trying
the things that the video shows that are opposite of what you told us, and then what you've now
like
told
what
us
is opposite?
Well, you said that it was funny, and you're the only one laughing.
We were playing before that.
Okay.
But then it stops.
Yeah.
It obviously stops being fun.
Well,
because you're screaming at him, he's begging to get out.
Screaming at him.
Sounds like screaming at me.
I don't know what you all want me to tell you. In no way, shape, or form was this intentional. At all. Ever.
Okay. Are you still going to allow us to do your fingernails?
Go for it.
Go for it? Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to get that set up.
Do you need any more water? No, but when you come back, can I ask about this?
Yeah.
So what?
Just don't understand.
So it was.
I don't understand how your story changes so much to the
How
fact
is it changing? Please help me explain. Understand.
You went on about how this was such a playful thing and you guys were laughing, and it probably was for a few minutes, but then it obviously changes. The whole demeanor of this whole situation completely changes. It's not the funny, laughing matter. He's not laughing at all.
I didn't think he was being serious.
You absolutely sound serious.
I didn't think so. Like, just.
You don't think your voice, you sounded serious?
It's, okay. I don't know what you want me to tell you. It was a great day.
Okay.
It didn't end well, obviously.
I was going to say, that's, I mean.
I can't explain to you how horrific it was.
Okay.
To find him. Horrific. Because I don't remember taking those videos.
Okay.
How horrific. I'm thinking he's in the bathroom. I'm thinking he's downstairs in the laptop. I can't find him. So what's going to happen? Like,
here's what gets me, though, is you don't remember taking videos, you don't know where he is, you don't remember him being in the suitcase, and you're still telling me that you had your wits about you. How does someone have their wits about them when...
See, that's the thing, too. But you can clearly tell that I had been drinking some. You can clearly tell.
I had several people that came up to me in that apartment complex said that you were drunk on a daily basis.
Oh, my gosh.
At him
right.
Regularly.
Right.
Really?
Right. Talk to the property manager. Talk to the property manager. Okay. Because it's not...
These are your neighbors, the one that live next to you. Your property manager does not live next to you. They see you every day. How many? You had two neighbors you went to and asked to go use the restroom.
See, that's just not fair.
No, hold on. You had two different neighbors that lived directly next to you. You asked to use the restroom, and they told you no and turned you away. You had to go across the way to somebody else.
No, okay. Kim and Kim is not a nice person. Okay. She's just automatically not nice. Even after me and Lucas went over there and introduced ourselves, she's just not a nice person.
Then why would you think she would let you use a restroom?
Because Eli was in there. Eli comes over and talks to us sometimes, which I think pisses Kim off because he comes over and talks to us. The two of them, they're like super standoffish all the time. My neighbors down the street, down the way, their toilet was broken. They had stuff in the bathroom. So then they're like, go over there and try over there.
There's two bathrooms.
I wouldn't let somebody go upstairs and use my personal bathroom. That's what the downstairs one is for.
If it's somebody you like, would you? Or somebody you knew?
They're in the process of doing all this stuff in the kitchen. And there's stuff in the bathroom and the toilet doesn't work. Just walk across the way. No problem. And of course they let me in. Them and them, they're together. They're families. And nonetheless, if you really want to know, and I hope it doesn't get them in trouble, but he is over here illegally. So he's trying to work on getting his green card.
What does that got to do with you using the restroom?
They didn't want to be involved.
Should I use yours? You gotta use yours.
No, I was asking last night, because, you know, I mean, we had several different people in the
Assuming
neighborhood
that
come up saying
Eli
that
and
she
Kim.
was drunk on a regular basis.
Eli and Kim. Okay. Did you ask Vinny next door?
Those are the ones next door that she asked to use the restroom, and they said no.
No, she said no.
Okay.
And like I said, she's not a nice person.
They're coming. What are your questions?
Yep.
I can help you with.
Who's coming?
To do the fingernails?
Yeah, you said that we could.
And you don't have to allow us to do it, just so you know. So don't think that it's.
I don't have a problem.
Okay. Just make sure.
So, am I getting my phone back?
No.
Not today.
What about Lucas's laptop?
No.
Not today.
Not today.
What does that mean?
We're still going through everything.
Oh, that's fine.
You're the one just telling us there's videos that we need to see on it, so we need to do our due diligence that we go through everything.
See, and that backfires on me now, too, because now you all think that I had even more, in quotes, intent to do what I did then, which was not intentional.
What's that?
In that. Is that correct?
She's asking about your tag in your hand.
No, but I'm asking if that's correct.
No, I'm not going to
We're not
agree to
making
anything that you're saying. I'm not, that you're.
So, his probation officer,
Mm-hmm.
do you all inform her, or do I need to call her?
We don't have to inform her, so if you would like to call her, you can. Are you saying because he's still on probation?
No, but because of the nice lady that she is and all that she's done for him, I didn't know how it was.
Legally, we just have to tell his parents, and we don't go telling.
Everybody else?
I didn't even know who his probation officer was, so no, I wouldn't go tell.
So the same thing for classes. I need to do that too.
Classes. You need to do what?
Substance abuse class and his batterer's intervention.
Yeah,
something else I was just getting ready to ask. So, other than this, so initially, what was the cause of death?
She is still pending because she wants to hold the body for an additional day to see if more of those bruises turn into something bigger. And she's doing some other tests that she's got to do. So she's pending it for now.
So, and that couldn't have been because of him being in the suitcase? Or y'all are saying that I physically did it?
That's what she's determining.
So
the ones on the head, I asked her, could that have been from the suitcase, and she said she didn't think so.
I didn't touch him, nor did he touch me.
Okay.
I'm leaving it at that.
Okay.
So I don't know if you all know how to do this because so that's what I was going to get ready to ask you. So are you all updating his parents today or when you get final whatevers?
What does it matter? Why? What we tell his parents? What do you mean?
Because
we're gonna talk with them.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have to.
But it's gonna come down to me.
What do you mean?
Like, so it's being put on me.
Who said that?
But I'm not. So what is it you would tell them?
We're gonna give them an update, just like we gave you an update on their autopsy.
Okay, so it's whatever bruise, scratch, and
here's the thing.
Whatever on the head.
We had to deliver news to them last night that their son was dead. There's not a whole lot of conversation that goes on after that. It's not a very easy thing.
Was it yesterday or Sunday? Sunday. Today's Tuesday, right?
Did we not meet you yesterday? We met you yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. Right? Did we not meet yesterday?
It's a valid question.
Really? Yes, on Monday.
Okay.
Got it.
Perfect.
So I don't know if I ask you guys or how I find this out other than talking to his parents, which is not going to happen.
Yeah, probably a terrible idea.
How do you guys suggest me finding out about funeral?
Yeah.
That's not even something that's been probably talked about between the family. That's not something we ask. We have no way of.
I didn't know, that's why I'm asking.
It's
So,
gonna be up to them to make the arrangements of what they want to do. Like she just told you, this quick, just being told last night, I'll pretty much be willing to wager that they have not even considered what they're gonna do.
His body can't even be released, so.
I've been there with parents, grandparents, and uncles. So I don't know if I have the right to or not, but like I was gonna call his former employees whom he really cared for and let them know.
You can call whoever you want.
I just don't want to do something that I'm not supposed to. How do I go about getting his wedding ring, engagement ring?
It's at the medical examiner's office. It'll come to us eventually, and then.
It'll be released to
to
the next of kin.
Yeah, okay.
I bought it for him.
That is a civil issue. It was on his finger, it goes to them, they're the ones that are gonna release it, we don't have any say in that.
So I won't get that back. So for all of this, like, how do I find out what's what and how many, like, what's been found?
What do you mean?
Pillow with stain, swabs of stain from pillow, suitcase.
That will all be sent off to
FDLE.
FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement. They do their testing.
So, and then like whatever white can with blood and necktie with blood was from the suitcase.
Correct.
Why would you guys, you'll see it in there, the baseball bat for Lucas and the receipts. And this is just his phone, my phone, and then the laptop.
Yeah, when anything can be released, we will release it, but we are very early in this investigation, and it's not an overnight process, unfortunately.
So, what's next?
They're gonna come and swab your fingers.
No, I'm talking about, like, in the long run. Like, what do I need to, like, do I need to be doing something, or, like...
I can't tell you, like, what to do.
I mean, like, so, like, for... Like, I don't understand, like, I don't know if you guys are just gonna, like, because it makes it sound like, to me, like, I'm being accused of something that was not intentional. I'm being accused of it.
Mm-hmm.
And a handful of other things that I'm being accused of.
Okay.
So I don't want to be at home with Lucas and you guys show up.
Okay.
I understand that.
So...
we're still investigating. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
So, is there going to be concrete whatever it is, and then it's like, okay, this is what it is, kind of thing, or like, because I've done the whole court thing, I've done the whole attorney thing, I've done whatever, so if I'm not admitting anything about being intentional and I killed George,
okay.
That's not the situation, but it's trying to be pinned on me.
Okay.
That was not my intent. But it's trying to be pinned on me. So however or whatever it is I need to do in order for that to be proven, then I need to do so, which is why I'm trying to get my ducks in a row.
Okay.
So that's why I'm asking what the next step is other than me getting my nails swabbed.
I mean, you want me to tell you how to not be accused of a crime? Is that what you're asking? Like, I don't know what you want.
I'm trying to prepare myself for whatever may need to be done so I can, I guess, stick up for myself.
I mean, I think you're doing just fine. You came, you talked.
I just don't want you guys to, again, show up and Lucas is in the house.
Well, we did tell you yesterday that we don't want to do anything around your son, hence why you came to us. So I don't know why you think that's going to change.
That and or me not just show up back home.
I'm sorry, what? That or what?
Me just not show up back home. That's what, he's so happy that I'm staying over at the house with Brian. Like, so happy. And I'm not going back to the house, to my house, for however long I can stay over here because of whatever to blow over.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you don't mind me asking, so for whatever it is you all are claiming from the videos, which, yeah, is that what you're going to tell them? Like, his parents? It's like, oh, yeah, and by the way, she did.
Did what?
I mean, what would you tell them?
I don't think it really matters what we're going to tell the parents.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's fuel to the fire.
Well, we can't hide things, and I don't know. I'm not saying we're going to go. I'm not saying that we're going to go and tell them every single thing we have. But again, this is the Orange County Sheriff's Office, that's public record, so eventually, like, this all will come out.
Mm-hmm.
So, it does, like, I'm not, you're making it sound like we're going to tell them something, so then your life is in danger, and I don't like that accusation.
No.
So, let's just nip that in the butt right now.
Well, that's what's going to happen.
I cannot...
But
I
we
cannot
can't,
What are we going to tell them?
but we can't even, but so technically there's no concrete report yet, even.
Right, so
it's,
you want me to, like, tell you
proof.
exactly what I'm going to tell them. I don't know what I'm going to tell them. I don't know what I'm going to tell them. Let's just leave it at that. Just like you don't know why you went upstairs. I don't know what I'm going to tell them.
So,
Parents that are dealing with
can I call you the way that I did last time?
Yeah, my phone is an open line. Missy should be here. I don't watch taking so long.
Though it might seem that the interrogation is over, the detectives are testing Sarah with their silence. Nothing makes people more uncomfortable than silence, as we are conditioned to constantly be talking and engaging. Imagine now that you're in a job interview, and the interviewer asks you a question, and then when you're finished answering, they just stare at you, quietly. They might nod along, they might write something down, but for the most part, they just look at you, expectantly. The tension and unease you would feel as the interviewee would probably cause you to keep talking, to expand your point until you feel as if you've impressed the person opposite of you. That's exactly what the interviewers will be doing for the remainder of the interrogation, which will lead Sarah to lending a plethora of information that is just as damaging as the information that came before. Currently, Sarah is still under the impression that she will be leaving the interview, going back to live with her ex-husband and their child, and this entire ordeal will blow over. However, given the evidence against her, she was ready to be arrested the moment she stepped into the station. They have Sarah on camera taunting the deceased, and they have evidence that she actively caused his death. However, she maintained throughout that it was unintentional. Therefore, she is not responsible. But that is by no means how our legal system works. Every time someone drives drunk or otherwise impaired, they do not intend to cause harm. They intend to get to wherever their destination is, even though they know they shouldn't be driving. But the onus of responsibility does not leave them because they didn't mean to do something. Their actions are still their own. And in this case, it's obvious what Sarah intended to do.
I get it. Look, I get it. That looks really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what scares me. Like, what do I need to plan on? Like, what do I need to plan on? I promise you, on my son's life, it was not intentional. I promise you, on Lucas's life, it was not intentional.
I don't know you. I can't say I know anything about you. I don't know what would be a true statement, what would not. I mean, if you're promising on your son's life, that's fine.
That's how much it means.
Sorry.
That's how much it, look, that's how much it means.
Okay.
I hope you take that to heart. Please.
And it's documented that you said that, yeah. I get it.
Do you have any idea when I can get my phone back?
No telling.
What did you say?
I just said no telling. I mean, our digital forensics unit is got a lot of cases on their plate. I mean.
Well, and that's not technically my laptop, it's Lucas's laptop.
Okay.
But he plays, you'll see all the games that he has on there.
As soon as we can get that back to Lucas, we will. As soon as we can release your phone, we will. But we have no way of being able to tell you because we don't have control over their caseload and how they arrange what they do. So I don't know. And at this point, I think, honestly, with everything else that's going on, that should probably be at the bottom of your list of worries.
I'm trying to make Lucas happy so he can have his laptop back.
Okay.
Did Brian not have a laptop for him?
He has his laptop that he has to do for work, but he doesn't want him using it or breaking or dropping. It's not a big deal. There's nothing on the laptop anyway. So you will keep me posted, like updated. That's my thing, is I'm trying to figure out what I need to do in the meantime.
I don't know. I can't. Like, I don't know what to tell you though. Like, what?
But you all have more information than I do, where it's yeah, you might wanna, or yeah, you might wanna.
I'm sorry, what?
Like, we have more information on what?
Like,
we told you everything that we have. You know everything that we know. And most of it we got from you.
But that, like I was telling her, like, yeah, that's bad. Like, which I swore in my son's life was unintentional. So that's why I'm trying to figure out what I need to do for myself.
Okay.
Going forward with this, nonetheless, with his family. And are you all just showing up with Lucas in the house?
Well, I think we've already both told you that we would be mindful of any situations.
So you guys, I guess you're going to call me tomorrow? Or do we need to come back down here?
I'll chat with you next time. I have no idea when I'm going to call you next.
Isn't the report coming out tomorrow?
No.
What report?
I'm just saying a report is generated through us, and the sheriff's office is a public entity. So if someone were to come request something, then...
No, I'm talking about his autopsy.
She's waiting and doing more follow-up, but...
She's looking at him again tomorrow.
Yeah.
But she won't be finished with him because she's pending for other stuff.
So after this, what? I'm done? For now? How long does this stuff take to get back?
The FGLE
Most of
results?
that you won't get back. The swabs and stuff will stay.
They all know about it?
Sorry, our dispatch center keeps calling my phone, and I keep having to have other people call them to see what they need.
I hope you all can really both truly understand that that was not my intent. I miss him a lot.
I mean,
No more.
but my question has remained the same. What do you expect to happen to somebody when you leave them in a position like that?
Yes, but you have to understand too. I know.
No, just what would you expect to happen to somebody when you leave them in a position?
I had no idea because I've never done it before.
Why have you never done it before?
Why would I?
Exactly.
Why would I
did
do
you?
it before?
Why did you do it now?
I clearly have said why.
No, you don't know
Never.
why. You just know that it's not intentional, but you don't know why. But that's okay.
Really?
I'm not trying to force you to say something that you don't know.
It's feeding and petting. The fact that you guys would assume that I'm that kind of person.
We're not assuming anything. We're going by the facts. It happened.
Like you said, you don't know me. What time is it, please?
4:46.
In itself, for me to have to live with getting him out and doing what I did is punishment enough. I think that's why I haven't slept, because that's all I see. So that right there says something. Not my intention.
This is nice. I just barely touched her. Oh, that would be very random. I was like, I literally heard the beep and I was like, that would be really weird. I was kind of confused how much I literally.
Nonetheless, I have to live without him now.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
Yeah.
Punishment in itself.
Yeah. Definitely a tragic situation.
I am through with alcohol. And it's unfortunate that stupid things like this happen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Nonetheless, I have to live without him now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his daughters too.
Are you trying to make it worse?
Sorry, what?
Are you trying to make it worse?
Make what worse?
How I feel?
Just making a comment. I mean,
PSI, that was there yesterday. I think she took. Okay, I'm done with all these. Okay, Sarah. So, you're not free to go. Okay. Do you promise everything you told us was the truth? Or no? Everything we've talked about today?
Yes. What do you mean?
He asked to swear. Remember how I swore you yesterday on the audio recording? I just forgot, so he raised his hand to remind me to tell you.
Okay.
Do you promise and swear that everything we talked about today has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
For which
True
everything?
and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
What, that it wasn't intentional?
Everything you've said today, everything that's come out of your mouth has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
To the best of my knowledge.
Correct. Yes.
Why?
Because
That's how
anytime
you
we talk
swear.
to somebody, we want to assure that everything that we talked about is,
True and accurate to the best of that person's knowledge.
it's not a trick question,
To the best of my knowledge?
to the best of your knowledge.
Everything that you've told us today is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
Yes, but it was not intentional.
Okay. Okay.
All right, do me a favor, stand up. I need you to turn around, face the wall, put your hands behind your back. Do you have anything in your pockets that I should know about?
No.
Okay.
Why is this happening?
Because George is dead.
Not intentionally.
We understand that.
He's still dead.
Well, we don't
Someone
really
needs to
understand
call Brian, please.
that. Okay.
Or can I not make a phone call?
You'll be able to make a phone call when we get you down to the jail.
So
You'll
why
be
is this
afforded-
happening? So this was a trick.
No, it's not
No,
a trick.
not
How's
a
it a
trick.
trick? I came in here to ask you to explain a few things to us, and
You were read your rights.
your response to everything was basically, I didn't do it.
Intentionally.
I have to go through that.
Doesn't matter. He's still dead. Do me a favor. Have a seat.
Really, guys?
Really.
So if I didn't show up. Why is
You're
this
trying-
happening?
Because
Before y'all said I could leave.
when
That I was done after this, after that.
we were done, yes, we were done. Absolutely.
So now, so that's what it is,
We are done.
right? Not intentional.
Okay.
So what am I supposed to do now?
You will,
Someone needs to call Brian.
okay.
Lucas is waiting for Mom to come home. This was not my intention. I thought I was waiting for you all to come and figure out what's what and how many.
That's what we're trying to do.
And I was going to be able to go home and see Lucas. Now he's just not going to have me come home. So there's nothing that I can do.
All right, no.
There's nothing that I can do in order to go home and see Lucas and prepare.
Not right now, no. You'll be afforded a time in court. You'll be afforded an attorney. You'll be afforded a chance to talk to a judge, and all that stuff will be worked out.
But what's the time frame for that, though?
I have no way of being able to tell you. You should make first appearance probably by tomorrow morning, if not tonight, depending how things are busy, how quickly you get down there. I
had a
don't
sneaky
work in
suspicion
there.
this was going to happen. And I need water, like, really bad, please.
Have a seat.
You all checked me down here.
Absolutely did not.
I just got those.
Okay. They are not allowed in the jail.
So I can't even smoke cigarettes as I go.
What? Am I good on that? She's like that.
And what am I supposed to do with my car?
You'll be fine where it is. When you get down there, you'll have 3 phones. You'll be able to call.
What, as soon as possible?
Yeah, once you get down in there, get booked in, you'll be able to use a phone in the waiting
But how
area.
long will that take? Because I need to talk to Brian.
You know, it depends how busy, how quickly they get you through. I would say within the hour. It's a free phone
Yes?
call
Yeah.
in the lobby. It's a free phone
All
call.
I'm doing is bringing you there, sign
Yep.
the paper, and you're gonna do it.
She has no clue.
So can I ask you, or whoever it is, those holding cells, the holding cells, Am I gonna be put in one of those?
I don't know.
Last time I had a panic attack.
Okay. Let them know that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you're familiar with the Big Bay. As long as you go in and you act civil to them, they'll set you in the Big Bay. And you'll be left there for
Can
a
you
while.
request that while I'm there?
No, that's not up to us. We don't work at the jail.
As long as like he's saying, is if you don't
If you
act up.
go in and act like this, you'll go in and they'll put you in the Big Bay. If you go in there screaming and kicking and yelling and
Why would
cursing
I
at
do
people,
that?
I don't know. I'm just letting you know that's what happens. That's how they weed people out. If you go in acting like this,
So I ask for the Big Bay?
they'll put you there as long as you're acting like this.
Yeah, because the last time I had a major panic attack on the little things.
Hey,
Let them know.
change the code. Call it
Go
in.
stand up.
I have not.
So what am I gonna do with my purse? Oh, sorry.
Your purse is gonna come, but the cigarettes and stuff can't, so.
I put the lock up too, my bad.
Oh, no, it's all good. Mine are now opposite, so.
What made you all decide to do this?
Made us decide to do this.
Uh-huh.
George is dead.
You guys, I knew this was gonna happen.
You did? Okay.
So I came down here willingly.
Yes, absolutely. We were trying to figure out what's going on. We're still trying to figure out what's going on.
Unintentionally.
Intentional or not, George is dead. You act like when you say unintentionally, that absolves you from everything.
I need to get, I have my, I don't know if it's able to be or not.
I apologize.
No.
I have things in my car that I need to.
Okay.
Put your,
What kind of stuff do you have in your car that you're worried about?
Well, I have my medication.
Okay, they have a pharmacy there, so if there's something that you have to have right away, you'll be seeing a nurse.
It's panic attack stuff.
Well, again, when you get checked in, you're going to be seeing a nurse, and that they have a pharmacy there, so they'll be able to take care of any kind of that stuff. That protocol is out of my realm. I don't work down there, so I don't know, but I do know they do have a pharmacy, and that you will be afforded to see somebody. Okay?
all done?
Yes, ma'am. Let's say no.
Yeah.
My bad.
No.
As of now, Sarah is still declaring her innocence, despite the deluge of evidence against her. She remains unable to acknowledge that she is not the person she tells people that she is no longer the straight-A student, overachiever who was doing amazing things with her life. Instead, she is a murderous alcoholic who neglected her child and tarnished everything around her. The case is set to go to trial in the near future. She will most likely be found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. If there are any updates to this story, I will report them in a later video. But as of now, that is all. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it and made it to this point, please leave a like, as it does help in the algorithm. If you have a video suggestion or a concern, let me know in the comments down below, or email me at dreading.official@gmail.com. With all of that said, have a great day and stay safe.